more than half a block. I did not want surgery on my back, and I researched many different ways of getting this fixed. Behind that was horror stories from my friends who had back surgery, but it wasn't worth it. And I just made conclusion to that. There's got to be another way.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. We were able to get Bill back on the course without the risk of surgery. We did this using non-invasive, FDA-cleared procedures like non-surgical decompression, laser, pressure wave, and bioelectrical treatments. Now, Bill is back to playing golf and enjoying life. Schedule a free consultation to learn if you qualify for our non-surgical and drug-free treatment by calling Sound Pain Solutions or visiting soundpainsolutions.com.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ask about Wi-Fi backup for your business or get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract, plus for a limited time. Ask about an $800 holiday bonus prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to ComcastBusiness.com today. Ins 12/15/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Tune in this Sunday as your Seattle Seahawks take on New York. Kickoff at 10 a.m. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, proud sponsor of the Seattle Seahawks and the Northwest's biggest and best casino.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
We are Seattle Sports. 7:10 a.m. on your radio. Streaming through the Seattle Sports app. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy from Unsportsmanlike, and I just wanted to wish all of our listeners a happy Turkey Day. And I hope you enjoyed this best of from the morning show. And make sure you tune into Unsportsmanlike weekdays at 6 a.m. right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
This is Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio and on ESPNU.
John Harbaugh and Jim Harbaugh converge and meet at midfield as the Ravens take their 8th win of the season, beating the Chargers tonight.
This is a big win for our guys. I'm proud of our guys, the way they came out and responded. After the first 10 points, we're down 10-0. That's what I appreciate about our guys. They really don't flinch. They keep fighting, and they play really good winning football. Every game's a playoff game for us. It's like we just got to keep our foot on the gas. We can't come up for air. Got to stay down and just stay locked in.
Monday Night Football last night. Ravens, big win over the Chargers, 30-23. Yeah. Go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
That is, in fact, the song.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, but...
I thought that's where you were going.
No, we were in the midst... Smalls and I were in the midst of yelling at each other about her birthday. Go ahead.
Back to my birthday. Evan, we were talking about people who collaboration, and how some people don't.
Hello, Atlanta Falcons.
And some people don't love collaboration because they want the credit. And I said, it's really amazing what you can accomplish if no one cares who gets the credit.
That was my idea. No, I'm just kidding.
See? And Evan's like, yeah, I don't care about the credit. And I go, please, you totally care about the credit.
That's not what I said.
Okay, what'd you say?
I care about the credit, but like the credit I personally like is if I could push others to be good. And then getting
love that.
Yeah, and then getting the credit for helping others get good.
But you want the credit.
Yes, but
you want the credit. Yeah, exactly right.
You just don't want them to be good. You want everybody to know you made them good.
I would categorize myself as selfishly unselfish. I just thought of this now, so maybe it's not 100% right.
Selfishly unselfish.
I'm saying, like, I had a connection to Rob. Rob's unbelievable, right?
Rob's the best.
Rob deserves all the credit. He does our social and digital
Rob's
at Sports
star.
ESPN. He's a superstar. Rob is one of one. I don't know anyone in the media
star.
that can, in the content industry, that can do what Rob does.
No, he's awesome.
He's amazing. Now, my secondary thought process is who suggested him for the job always has to then be right. Like, so I'm saying Rob is unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, I may have suggested him for the gig. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. I mean, it kind of matters, but it doesn't matter.
And I brought up
credit for it.
And Cece, I brought up my birthday where I didn't know that you guys were coming to the dinner, and I was so surprised and flattered that you guys would take the time out to come celebrate my birthday. And when I saw Evan and Rob, I said, "What are you guys doing here?" And
I think you said, "Why are you guys here?"
Why are you guys here?
Said, why you asked why were we?
Yeah, I didn't know you guys were going to be there. And Evan's like, "Well, now I don't get the credit for showing up."
That's right.
And so I said, I have experience where you want the credit.
I'm not arguing any of that. I would argue your level of expression in your head of kindness in that moment, I would not have taken it that way. For someone that is 99.9% of the time kind,
I was so confused.
That was your point one.
I didn't expect you to be
All
there.
of a sudden, people are showing up, going out of their way to go to your birthday dinner, and your response is, "Why are you here?"
I didn't say it like that. I thought that it was a coincidence. I didn't put two and two together. I saw you at the door.
I don't live in New York
When
City.
you have every Smalls, come on now, coincidence? Everybody from work was there.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Seriously.
It's not a coincidence when everybody from the job shows up at the same restaurant waiting on you.
But I hadn't
And I
seen
don't
you
live
guys
in New
yet.
York City.
I hadn't seen you guys yet.
Right, that's like me saying at the hibachi cookout, like, "Oh, what are you guys doing here?" Like, you're at my house.
Ev, let's just call this what this is.
Yeah.
She saw you there at the dinner, and she was worried that you would take down the vibes from her birthday.
100%.
No,
100%.
not even.
She was worried. She was like, "Why are you here,
I
Evan?"
think, by the
Because
way,
I was
not even.
curating the vibes around my birthday dinner with a certain group of people from work, and I didn't anticipate that you would be here.
And by the way,
that's
Cece,
what happened. That's
Cece,
what happened.
I'm going to say something. Smalls, you have to stay out of this right now.
Okay.
That is a proper concern when I show up. That is a fair concern. We were going to have fun. Now he's here. So I don't know that the morality police has showed up. Who knows? No. Oh, well, now we can't have 2 drinks instead of 1. Oh, he's going to be looking at us. I get it.
And I'm pretty sure the restaurant we went to won't allow you to play Hoop Collective over the loudspeaker.
That is true.
Another thing.
That is true.
1,000% correct. See, that's how you felt. You just didn't want to admit it.
Not true. Not true.
She didn't want to admit it.
You didn't want to admit
did
it.
something nice, and she didn't know how to tell you that she really wished you didn't do that quote-unquote nice thing because you're actually detracting from her birthday dinner.
Absolutely right. I agree. I detract from my own dinners.
That's what happened.
Yeah, that's right.
Totally disagree, but carry on.
You didn't detract from Hibachi. Hibachi was outstanding, by the way.
I stayed out of the way. I let my wife handle it.
We want to encourage the ECHC to continue to be a thing.
Yeah,
that was phenomenal.
Volume 2, let's go.
Yeah, 1,000%.
30-23. The Ravens beat the Chargers last night. The turning point of the game, which was a remarkable moment. I even though it worked, I still think it was the wrong decision. At 4th and 1 from their own 16-yard line with 2 minutes to go in the first half, the Ravens were down 10-7. And they actually, after the 2-minute warning, line up Mark Andrews as their quarterback, do basically a tush-push QB sneak to get a first down. They go on this great scoring drive. Lamar has a 40-yard touchdown to Rashad Bateman in that moment. And if they don't convert that, Baltimore hands the Chargers the ball on the plus 16-yard line there to potentially go up maybe 17-7 going into half. John Harbaugh, why'd you do it?
The downside is they give them the ball at the 16-yard line. You know, that's the downside. And but the upside or the thought is that I really thought we could get it. You know, I thought Mark could get it with the quarterback sneak. And I just thought he and Tyler and and our interior offensive line. I mean, Pat McCarry just coming off the ball the way he did, and Daniel Falele coming off the ball the way they did. I thought we could get it, and they did. So hats off to them. It led to like a 90-some yard drive and got us 7 points. That was a big turning point in the game.
Okay, so in the moment, forget the result for a second. No, I don't mean the result of getting it on 4th and 1. I mean the touchdown. Did you think it was the right move in the moment?
Yeah, I thought it was the right move, and I think you're looking at this the wrong way because even if they don't get it, you're talking about it being at point-blank range for the Chargers to score. But if they punt the ball away, it's still a relatively short field for the Chargers who could potentially make it a 3-possession game. It's a very different thing being down 10-0 or 13-0 in comparison to being down 17-0, and I think that was the fear for John Harbaugh going into the halftime. If it's a 3-possession game, then you get away from Derrick Henry, you get away from what is your strength, which is the run game, and all of a sudden now you got to drop back to try to win it. Not to say that Lamar can't, but that plays into the strength of that Chargers defense. So I think based on the complexion of the game and based on the opponent, it was the right call by John Harbaugh to go for it on that 4th down.
Smalls, did you think it was the right call? Looking back, I mean, it worked, obviously. But we're talking about 4th and 1 in a 3-point game. Good point on the punt, right? There's still time for Herbert to do something there. And because of the fact that Herbert is so efficient and doesn't turn the ball over, they likely still try to move. Like some teams would sit there and say, hey, we're up 10-7 on the Ravens. Take a knee and go to halftime. Be happy with that, right? Sure. I don't know that a Justin Herbert-led team would need to do that because you have all the confidence in the world that he would not turn the ball over in that spot and give the Ravens a chance to get the lead. 4th and 1, own 16. Did they make the right move?
So hindsight's always 20/20, right? In the moment, I think I was a little surprised by it, but I also agree with what the sentiment was that Lamar Jackson echoed in the sound we just played there, that he has confidence in his guys to get the job done. And I love that in a coach. I love that it's not just lip service with John Harbaugh, that he really does believe in his team. And you see moments like that where he puts it on display, even in a tough situation where he has to make the call. He believes that they're going to execute, and they did.
So the Chargers obviously don't win the game. They had a 10-0 lead. They blow the lead. But on the whole, they're 7-4. They're very much in the playoff picture right now. Are they ahead of schedule from where we thought they would be going into this season? And just to be honest, I picked them to make the playoffs before the season. No big deal. Finally got a prediction right. Are they ahead of where you thought they would be right now, guys?
Well, we're definitely going to give you credit for getting the prediction right.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah,
credit is to you. But no, I don't think they're ahead of schedule. They have one of the best head coach quarterback tandems in the entire NFL. So this is about what they should be, a team that is going to be squarely in the wild card picture and could potentially go on the road and upset somebody when we start talking about the early rounds of the playoffs. So, no, I don't think the Chargers are punching above their weight. They're exactly where they should be. Now, I would like to see the Chargers do better when it comes to quality competition. They're 1-4 against teams with a winning record. I think the only win they have on their resume against a team that currently has a winning record is the Denver Broncos. So that's something that they've got to get cleaned up. But this is a team that is hard to guard. They don't make themselves easy to beat. They play fundamentally sound. The one thing that you can see, though, is that when they are forced to be one-dimensional on both sides of the ball, which is having to stop the run and then having to be a straight drop-back team, they can get exposed. So they don't have multiple pathways to being able to win games like some of the other more talented teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, like the Detroit Lions, like the Baltimore Ravens. They have to play a very specific style, and I think that can create problems for some, but it can be an easier matchup for others. And last night, it ends up being the latter for the Baltimore Ravens.
I would say I think they're slightly ahead of schedule. We all thought that Jim Harbaugh would go in there and he would do what he does, build it into a winning program, a winning organization. He does it everywhere he goes. But this wasn't even a knock on Harbaugh or on Herbert, but the Chargers organization as a whole. They had been inept for so long, and we had always counted them out for so long. And it takes a while to unlearn that. As players, organizationally, it takes a while to turn the page. And so while I thought that Jim Harbaugh would inevitably get the Chargers to the place where he needed them to be, I don't think I expected the culture and the cohesion, the physicality, the toughness, all of that stuff to translate so early on in the season. So while we had expectations for them that they are meeting in a lot of regards, I think I am a little bit surprised that the success and the things that he wanted to do with this team have been expedited the way that they have.
All right, so the Chargers are 7-4. They're a playoff team. Their quarterback doesn't turn the ball over. Their head coach is obviously a proven commodity with the Niners in the NFL. And they lose last night. They lose to a good team with the potential MVP again for the third time in Lamar Jackson. And yet someone on this show thinks we're overdoing the success of the Chargers this year. Yes, Pat Costello?
I just don't understand why all of a sudden we're pretending like the Chargers weren't this the last couple years. Okay, last year they weren't. I got that one. But the 2 years before that, this is basically who the Chargers were. 2 years ago, they made the playoffs at 10-7 as second in their division. That's most likely how this is going to end up this year for the Chargers as well. I don't know why we're pretending like Harbaugh came in and is doing something that wasn't already done. If he gets them to a Super Bowl, then we can have a conversation. Until that happens, this is the same Chargers team.
Pat, record-wise, the Bills are kind of the same as they've been in years past. I think they're night and day different. Record-wise, the Denver...
Whoa, what? Why? How are they night and day different? It's the same team.
Because their quarterback doesn't turn the ball over.
That's not... Okay. Okay.
That's just true.
Continue your argument.
What were you going to put in front of the argument? I was fascinated by that word. Pat? Go ahead.
No, keep going what you were going to say about
What
Herbert.
did I say, Pat? Say what you need to say, John Mayer. Let's go.
I don't know. I just keep going on
Okay.
Herbert. We're running out of time.
The point is, Denver is kind of similar-ish record as they were a year ago, and they're night and day better. Like, you can have the same record or hovering around the same record and a totally different feel around the team. The feel around the Chargers is not the team that Smalls always brings up that blows a 27-0 lead in the playoffs.
They were the personification of meh.
And they don't feel that way.
They're the opposite of that
They
right now.
feel like the team, even though they lost last night, that you want no part of in the playoffs. No part of. Because they have an elite quarterback and an elite coach. I don't feel like that's the same as what we've seen in years past.
Yeah, now listen, I know the statistics are a little bit better than what the actual product is on the field, but the Los Angeles Chargers are the #1 scoring defense in the NFL. All the other seasons prior with Justin Herbert as their quarterback, they haven't been ranked better than 20th in scoring defense. The defense is way better this year than in years past with Justin Herbert. Now, we'll see what that means going down the stretch, but I think that gives them a better chance at being able to knock off somebody once the playoffs get here.
We're on Sportsmanlike on ESPN Radio.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when intended to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Color Collection.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you could use that money towards scoring courtside seats for your favorite team. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can score courtside seats. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but courtside seats can be astronomical. Maybe if your team plays in a smaller market, you could swing it. Even still, it's unlikely. Maybe fourth row, which are still incredible seats that you'll enjoy greatly. Savings possible. Courtside, long shot. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Progressive cannot guarantee that someone really tall will not sit in front of you at the game, rendering your excellent seats just okay.
This is Seattle Sports.
Be one of the very first to register for next year's Brewster King Salmon Derby. Tickets are on sale now through the end of the day on Friday. Get your tickets early before they sell out. They will only sell 300 online tickets. Special recognition to presenting sponsor, VIP Insurance Agencies. And a big thank you to the host, Brewster Pateros Bridgeport Senior Center. Brought to you by Brewster Bait and Tackle Shop. Get your tickets now through Friday at BrewsterKingSalmonDerby.com.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, don't neglect maintenance on your vehicle. Keep it safe. At Bucky's Complete Auto, we have you covered with available financing. For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. There's a Bucky's just about everywhere for oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Bucky's.com for the location near you.
Join Seattle Sports and Treehouse for the 36th year of Holiday Magic,
helping provide holiday gifts and year-long support for the more than 6,000 youth and young adults in foster care statewide.
When a child receives a holiday gift or a winter coat, they create memories that last long after the chill of winter passes.
Over 36 years of Holiday Magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state.
So join Seattle Sports and Treehouse and share the joy of the holiday season.
Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more.
Hey, are you looking to save on internet and mobile this holiday season? Well, good news. Xfinity is having a Black Friday sale. They have you covered with these great deals. Learn how to get your choice of a 5G phone on Xfinity. Plus, you can also get fast, reliable Xfinity internet with a line of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited for a great low price. So don't wait. Bring home a new 5G phone and get Wi-Fi speeds up to a gig on Xfinity Mobile. That's a big deal, or should I say a gig deal. Now through December 3rd, ask how to get your choice of free 5G phone with an unlimited plus line. Plus, get Xfinity Gigabit internet with free Wi-Fi equipment for only $25 a month for 12 months with no annual contract when you add unlimited mobile. Go to Xfinity.com/Black Friday sale to learn more. Restrictions apply, taxes and fees extra after promo, regular rates apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires Xfinity Gateway. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Gig speeds available via hotspots to Xfinity Mobile customers only. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Actual internet speeds and data thresholds may vary.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, weight, and even ED. Schedule your free testosterone level check with the team at Revive Men's Health Seattle. Text the word BOOST, that's BOOST, to 65555 or visit revivemenshealth.com. Message and data rates apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help and stop to cancel. ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy for how to opt in. Info will be used and ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of service.
We are Seattle Sports. 7:10 a.m. on your radio. Streaming through the Seattle Sports app. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
Hey, this is Michelle Smallman from Unsportsmanlike. I just wanted to wish all of our listeners a happy Thanksgiving and hope that you enjoyed this best of from the morning show. Make sure you tune into Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6 a.m. Eastern right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
This is Unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike. Brock Purdy is way more Jimmy Garoppolo than he is Joe Burrow. So, I mean, you can say, oh, he went to the Super Bowl and we've seen back-to-back great playoff runs, but Brock Purdy can't make everybody around him better.
The Green Bay Packers, Michelle Smallman's Green Bay Packers with a win yesterday over the San Francisco 49ers, 38-10. No Brock Purdy in the game. Jordan Love, 13-23, 163, 2 touchdowns. But the real story, Josh Jacobs, 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards rushing. This is an interesting one for the Packers, Smalls, because this was a big game going in. And then when you saw who wasn't playing, you're just like, all right, like they should blow out the San Francisco 49ers. No Purdy, no Trent Williams, no Bosa. Do you feel good about the Packers right now?
I feel good, not great. And I know they're coming off an emphatic win over a game that they had circled based on what happened at the end of their season last year. When the San Francisco 49ers knocked them out of the playoffs last year, Jordan Love and company talked about the fact that they were ready for this one because they thought about that specific loss and the way that that game ended the entire offseason. It was a motivating factor. So they wanted to prove a point versus San Francisco. They wanted to prove that this year was going to be different. And they went out there and they handled their business in an emphatic fashion. Josh Jacobs has been amazing. Jordan Love did not have any turnovers. The defense continues to be outstanding with the takeaways. But I don't know how confident I can feel in the Green Bay Packers being the best team in their division or a real Super Bowl contender when you beat the 49ers without Brock Purdy, without Trent Williams, and without Nick Bosa. Obviously, that's a different team. So while they handled their business and they did it in impressive fashion, I don't know if I still fully trust them based on the quality of the competition yesterday.
Well, trust when it comes to postseason play comes down to how we feel about the quarterback and the head coach, right?
Yeah.
And we feel pretty good about Matt LaFleur sitting here today.
Feel great about it.
Question mark is Jordan Love, and yesterday he didn't do anything to cover himself in glory. I think he was 1 of 7 in passes that traveled 15 or more yards from the line of scrimmage. And so there's this element of the vertical passing game that hasn't been consistent, and then you've also seen Jordan Love throw an interception in every single game that he's played in this season. Jordan Love, I couldn't believe this when I saw it, has only had 2 games where he's had a passer rating north of 100 this season. Only 2. And yet the Green Bay Packers through week 12 are sitting here at 8-3. So the question becomes, how do you feel about Jordan Love as we get closer to December and January football? And my answer would be, you got to feel pretty good because of who his head coach is, because of who his running back is, because of who his offensive line is, because of who his receiving core is, and then also the way that we've seen the defense transform under Jeff Hafley. So I guess my whole point is the Green Bay Packers clearly haven't played their best football because Jordan Love hasn't played his best football, and yet they're sitting here at 8-3. To me, it's not just about being the best team, but it's getting hot at the right time.
Which they did last year.
Listen, the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles been hot for a while. We ain't been able to say that about the Green Bay Packers in terms of them being quote-unquote hot, and yet they're still winning football games.
Yeah.
So if and when that light switch does flip on, if and when they do hit that groove, this becomes a really, really dangerous team. I don't trust the Green Bay Packers because it's hard to trust a team when the quarterback has turned the ball over in every single game he's played in. But they are a team that nobody's going to want to play once the playoffs get here because of their potential and because of what we saw last year.
Question on that. Are they too early in the process? Is Jordan Love too young in the process to be a flip-the-switch team? Because that's kind of what they feel like. It's like, oh, well, wait till they get to the playoffs. Like, I kind of want to see them dominating the way that the Lions and the Eagles have.
Well, he dominated yesterday.
Well, yeah, but it's a depleted team.
But that's what good teams do.
So
I mean, the Dallas Cowboys were depleted, and what did the Washington Commanders do? They lost at home.
Yeah.
So I got to give them credit for stacking the wins. I guess my whole point is, if you're looking at the Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love, we know, is one of the most talented quarterbacks in the conference. We've seen Jordan Love go on the road and win a playoff game in emphatic fashion. We've seen Jordan Love push the 49ers to the brink in the postseason when they had all of their players available to them. So we know it's in him. It's just a matter of when we're going to get that version of him. And the fact that we haven't seen it so far this season leads me to look at this more of glass half full than glass half empty. Now, this is me being optimistic.
Right, that's you're thinking to flip the switch.
Yeah, but here's the thing. When I say flip the switch, it's not for a lack of urgency because I see that every time the Packers play. It's just that the mistakes, the details haven't been quite as buttoned up as you would expect a championship contending team. But knowing how good their coaching has been, especially under Matt LaFleur, why would we not give the benefit of the doubt to the Green Bay Packers, to Jordan Love, that they're going to get better as the season progresses?
I'm totally fine with that. They're in an impossible division, obviously. It's amazing how good they are, and they're in third place.
And they can
Minnesota
still,
and Detroit.
but here's the crazy thing. They can still win the division.
Yeah. It's just wild to
They
think
can
that
still
they're in
win
third
it.
place.
Don't you think they're the biggest X factor when it comes to the NFC playoff
Yes.
picture?
Yes.
They are the biggest
Yes.
X factor in the NFC right now because you're right. We haven't seen the best of Jordan Love by a long shot. They've still won 8 games. Even when Jordan Love was injured, they found ways to win games with Malik Willis. Josh Jacobs and the defense has been outstanding. We trust the head coach. We're just waiting specifically for this one player to turn on the Jets, which we saw exactly at this time last year. And even without him playing up to his potential, they keep winning games. So I don't know. I am still in that I'm going to hold my breath so that I'm not disappointed space with the Green Bay Packers, but I also have a lot of hope that they're going to get hot at the right time just like they did last year, but it'll be a different outcome this year.
I think they're probably the biggest X factor because most people would look at the NFC and say definitively they could envision 2 teams getting to the Super Bowl in Detroit and Philadelphia. And can they envision a third? And I think Green Bay is the only one. I think people are still tentative on picking Minnesota.
Well, yes, I would agree with the Minnesota point. Here's what I'll say about Detroit and Philadelphia. They feel like they are head and shoulders above everyone.
Yeah.
And they probably are.
Mm-hmm.
This Green Bay Packers team, on the right day, can be both of them.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yesterday, Christian Watson drops a dime from Jordan Love. 50 yards out. He can't walk it to him any better. That's a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the things that we want to see from Green Bay, them unlocking that vertical element to the passing game, being more consistent in that regard, they're right there.
They're knocking on the door.
They're knocking on the door. It's right there.
Yeah.
They've got all the elements. You got the receivers. You got the running back. You got the offensive line. You got a defense that's top 10 in terms of points allowed per game. They create turnovers. They're top 5 in takeaways. You got everything it takes. It's just a matter of the quarterback coming around. And Smalls, I got a sneaky suspicion that once December and January football gets here, we'll start to see a better version of Jordan Love. I saw a little bit yesterday. He was licking his lips a little bit yesterday.
No interceptions.
He was licking his lips a little bit yesterday. I'm just saying.
Jay.
He was licking his lips a little bit yesterday. So I'm just going to put that out there.
The flip side of it is the Niners are in big trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Big trouble. Nobody's healthy. They're not playing well when they are healthy. They're going into the offseason, where there's going to be a ton of conversation about the Brock Purdy contract. In no way, shape, or form are they record-wise done, but they are in last place in a division that no one is running away with. Seattle 6-5, Arizona 6-5 after the Seattle win against Arizona yesterday. The Rams lose last night, as we've discussed, to the Eagles. They're 5-6, and the Niners are 5-6. The Niners are not a good football team right now. They feel, based on their play and based on their health, that they're done. Based on the way that division is, somehow, some way, they could still squeak in. Doesn't seem likely at this point.
They're done.
You want to say they're done altogether?
No, they're done. They're done.
I'm not ready to do that
done.
yet.
Their season is done. The championship runs with this core of players is done. It's over. It's over.
I'm not ready to do it yet.
Well, you can say you're not ready to do it. Yeah, you'll get to the party late, but it's over. I've been telling you that for a while now. It's over. Like the window is closed, the curtains are drawn. It's a wrap.
You told us at the end of last year in the Super Bowl. You said the window is closed.
It's a wrap. They weren't going to get off the mat from Kyle Shanahan deciding to take the ball first.
Third possession.
Think about it, Smalls. They've played 12 playoff games since 2019.
Wow.
That's damn near a season.
Wow.
In playoff games. That's a lot of football games to play without actually winning the ultimate prize. And now you're seeing all of those games start to take a toll on older veteran players, guys like Christian McCaffrey, guys like Trent Williams, guys like George Kittle, guys like Deebo Samuel. It catches up to you. Mm-hmm. And the 49ers should consider themselves caught. It's a wrap.
We're on Sportsmanlike on ESPN Radio.
This is Seattle Sports.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up. You can go farther and save on full synthetic with our oil change special. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic with an STP Extended Life oil filter for just $33.99. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Febreze.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up, then spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
November is a great time to get a new TV. Now that the top-rated brands like Samsung, LG, and Sony are at the lowest prices of the year. With Black Friday deals available, what more could you want? How about better than Black Friday. Before you click, you should call video only to see how you can go lower than Black Friday. That's right, the best TVs at better prices. Check out video only before you buy, or you'll be sorry.
Mariners single game tickets for 2025 are on sale now. The squad will be back in action before you know it. And now's the time to lock in your seats for the biggest games next season. Don't miss opening day on March 27th. Incredible giveaways like the Julio Bat Flip Bubble and matchups versus the Dodgers, Yankees, and more. Plus, check out 30 value games with tickets starting at just $10. Go to Mariners.com to get your tickets today.
A deep blast. This is gone. Home run. Julio.
Miss anything from the Brock and Salk Show? Remember, you can always catch the show on demand on seattlesports.com, the Seattle Sports app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. This message brought to you by Ascend Hospitality Group, Famous Dave's, Ascend Prime, and Stanford's.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
When you struggle with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, you get used to not feeling 100%. I thought that was how it had to be. Until I discovered the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. They told me about new medications that weren't around back when I was diagnosed. They helped me find a specialist who gave me a new treatment plan. I'm feeling better than I ever thought I could. Don't settle for not feeling your best. Take action today to take care of yourself. Spill your guts. Learn more at spillyourguts.org.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Lions seeking a 10th straight win and their first 11-1 start in franchise history, taking on the NFC North rival Bears in the opening game on this Thanksgiving Day. Detroit got on the board first with a Jake Bates 30-yard field goal, followed up by a 3-yard touchdown pass from Jared Goff to Sam Laporta, and Jake Bates has just added another field goal. Lions up 16-0 second quarter on the Bears. Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito, forearm injury, not expected to play in Dallas today. Drew Lock likely starts instead. Cowboys will be without tight end Jake Ferguson and right guard Zach Martin against the Giants. Packers ruled out receiver Romeo Doubs and quarterback Jair Alexander versus the Dolphins tonight. Chiefs activated running back Isaiah Pacheco off IR and defensive end Charles Omenihu off the PUP list in time for them to both play tomorrow against the Raiders.
Hey, this is Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and I just wanted to wish all of our listeners a happy Thanksgiving and hope you enjoyed this best of from the morning show. And make sure you tune in to Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU. Number one in our rankings when it comes to the draft is Mel Kiper Jr., ESPN NFL draft analyst, First Draft Podcast. And he joins us now here on Unsportsmanlike with Chris Canty, Michelle Smallman, and me, Evan Cohen. Mel, thank you as always. We had the debate earlier in our show about if the 2023 NFL draft, 2024 NFL draft had a redraft, who goes 1, 2, 3, and 4? How would you look at that?
Wow, first you have to remind me who was in that draft. I'm just kidding. Only thing on my mind right now are players for this draft, and that's it. That's all I'm evaluating. That's all I'm thinking about. But, yeah, the redraft, and we kind of done that, Field Yates, myself, and Greeny on the First Draft podcast, and we kind of talked about that a lot, about where these quarterbacks would go, where the wide receivers would go. I would keep the receivers the way they are, and I would keep the quarterbacks. Bo Nix is the one that would jump up. I think Caleb and Jaden and Drake, leave them where they are, okay? Bo Nix is the one that just happened to go, and I said this back on Mock 4.0. I did that because I said maybe Sean Payton, and I hate comps. We know that. I scream about comps because comps are always two elite players in the NFL, and it never works out. I say rarely works out that way. Mm-hmm. But I do think you can see similarities. And when I was going through in my mind, just sitting at my desk thinking about Sean Payton and Drew Brees, Sean Payton and Bo Nix and Drew Brees, very similar in a lot of ways coming out of college for both those quarterbacks. From, size, arm. I compared everything. It was unbelievable how close they were with having all those starts. Not a great arm, but accurate. Arm strength certainly good enough, but not the howitzer. And not tremendous mobility, but certainly able to move around. Drew Brees had some rushing yards at Purdue, which would surprise some people when you look at those numbers. Bo Nix the same way at both Auburn and Oregon. Both incredible high football IQs, both incredibly accurate. Both were, to me, very similar. And Sean Payton, I thought, would see that when he looked at Bo Nix. I got calls right after 4.0 went out. I said, no, why do you have Bo Nix? We have a second-round grade on him. And I didn't go to 32 teams, but my core group of friends in the league said it made no sense to them. That wasn't what they were hearing. So, again, but Sean Payton's the one person that needed to see that Drew Brees 2.0 and Bo Nix, and he did. And we see that coming to fruition now in the National Football League. So he's the one quarterback. And by the way, those starts that Bo Nix had, that high number of starts that Barcel said you needed, is true. That's why if I'm Jalen Milroe or Beck or Ewers or Nussmeier, any of these quarterbacks, and you're not playing great football, why in the world would you come out? Take as many snaps, take as many reps, throw the ball, play as many games as you possibly can in college before you even think about coming into the NFL.
Mel, if the draft were held today, the Jacksonville Jaguars would have the number one overall pick, followed by the New York Giants and the Las Vegas Raiders. With two of the top three teams being quarterback needy, is it a lock that Shedeur Sanders will be the number one overall pick in April?
I would say, Chris, I don't want to say a lock because that's like picking games. If you say it's a lock, there's who knows who's going to win these games against the point spread. That would just be the locks of the year and everything. So I would say it's pretty doggone close without saying lock. I think Shedeur and Cam Ward. I know Jordan Reed has Cam Ward ahead of Shedeur. I have Shedeur, and I'm going to maintain that. Guys with Shedeur ahead of Cam Ward. Shedeur's 4 on the big board. Cam Ward's at 10. Two teams there desperately need that quarterback. So you got it. The Raiders lost out on all 6 last year by staying where they were. Brady's influence will be heavy there. The Giants obviously taking a quarterback. Jacksonville, if it remains this way, Jacksonville's sitting in a perfect spot. They can trade off a 1, let either the Giants or the Raiders come up to 1 from where they are, get their quarterback. Jacksonville can sit at either 2 or 3 and take Travis Hunter, who they need, can play cornerback, wide receiver at a super high level. That's what they need, and benefit from not needing the quarterback. So, again, Shedeur and Cam Ward, I would expect to go. One of those is going to be a Giant. One of them is going to be a Raider. And I would expect Travis Hunter in that scenario to become a Jacksonville Jaguar.
So, Mel, you don't want to say a lock, but I think it's pretty safe to say that Travis Hunter is obviously so singular in his excellence and his duality. Would you be shocked if he wasn't the first quarterback taken off the board?
As far as Shedeur and Cam Ward, those two, I think, are right now 1 and 1A. Travis Hunter is the best player in the draft, but obviously need is going to win out here, Michelle, and that's where it gets back to, right now you'd have to say the Giants, the Raiders are going to be way up there. Is Jacksonville going to maintain that top spot? Like I said, if it does stay this way, then a trade needs to be made, because if you're Jacksonville, you're not going to take Travis Hunter 1. You're going to move off of that. And I think the Raiders, after what happened last year, are going to find a way to get their guy. Now, if you think they're both equal and close, and you're sitting there and you're the Giants, say, or the Raiders at 2, and you say, hey, we don't care which one we get. We love them both. And we're not giving you anything to go at one spot. Let somebody else do it. Then you're getting one of the two. And if you think, but normally these teams fall in love with one guy. One guy is their guy. That he fits what we do. Everything came together. We were in sync. Everything's just worked out. We just give an edge to this quarterback. But with the Chargers and Giants, hey, Chargers were okay with Rivers, not Eli. That's why they let that deal take place, right? You don't have to let somebody do what they want to do. But if you feel that quarterback's right there, you can make that move. So again, sometimes it works out that way, where there's pretty much an equal split. Hey, whichever one falls us, we're happy with. So it depends how they feel, but if they do view one guy over the other, even slightly, you got to go get that guy. And you go, if you're 2, you go to 1 and get them. If you feel that they're so close, we don't know, then you're happy just sitting at 2. And for me, I like Shedeur. Shedeur's my guy. It's been that way for 2 years now. I said that even last year. Love Shedeur Sanders, like Cam Ward a lot. Like I said, but if it were me, Shedeur Sanders would be the first quarterback taken in this draft.
We're talking with Mel Kiper Jr., ESPN senior draft analyst, of course, co-host First Draft podcast here on Sportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. Deion Sanders made an interesting announcement yesterday that both Shedeur and Travis Hunter, even if they don't make the college football playoff, which they're likely not going to, will still play in a bowl game. If you were advising them relative to draft stock, would you advise them to do so?
No, I would say no, don't play. To me, bowl games don't mean anything. They're meaningless. They were always rendered meaningless even before the 12-team playoff, even with a 14 playoff. It started with, back to Fournette, McCaffrey, and all the players that followed suit, because why get hurt in that game? Look what happened. The players that got hurt in that game, it affected their stock and affected their status in the draft. So Shedor's taken so many hits. He's given everything he has to Colorado. He's given him more. The hits that he sustained and came back from and never missed a beat, never missed a game, and did all that. Shedeur Sanders behind that offensive line in that situation, why? Travis Hunter playing both ways with all those plays, all that wear and tear on his body. Why in the world would you go back out there and do it again? I would say absolutely 1,000%. If it's only a bowl game and not a 12-team playoff, then why would you play in a meaningless bowl game if you're Shedeur Sanders or Travis Hunter? It makes no sense to me.
Mel, we're seeing somewhat of a renaissance at the running back position in the NFL this year. The top 3 leading rushers were all free agent acquisitions this past offseason. All of those guys are in their 6th year or later in their career. And then the guy that's 4th on the rushing list was Jahmyr Gibbs, was the 12th overall pick in his respective draft class. Is what we're seeing right now potentially influencing the value of running backs in the 2025 draft and beyond?
No, not at all. I think a lot of teams have kind of jumped on that bandwagon of saying, the only thing I've said over the years, I think a lot of teams in the NFL doesn't say Kuiper's crazy about, is that nobody's saying I'm crazy about saying they'll take a running back in the first round, because most of the running backs are on their second team. The other ones, even Fournette, when he got the Super Bowl, second team. McCaffrey, second team. Barkley, second team. Obviously, Gibbs, because of his versatility. And that's the one thing. I said, hey, Jahmyr Gibbs is just a running back. Jahmyr Gibbs, you could be putting, like Reggie Bush when he came out. He could be, I said, you could put an 8 and make it 85 instead of 5, and he could be playing a slot receiver. I mean, those guys were more than just a running back. So when you get a guy like that who can do so many things and is almost like an extension of that position to another spot, then that's you can make that something you could argue could be a first-round type of player. But in most cases, in this draft, Ashton Jeanty is ranked right now on my big board as the 5th best player. He's going to go. He'd be a great Dallas Cowboy. So he's going to go. But there's going to be 34 other running backs in this draft that have a chance to be pretty good, that are going to probably go late or not at all. Some of those 34, 35 won't go, and they'll be undrafted free agents who can play in this league, or late rounders that can play in this league. So this is a draft where you're going to see a ton of running backs get drafted, and you're going to see a ton of running backs that have, say, second-round grades end up in the 4th or 5th round. That's just the way it's going to be. So this is a draft where you're going to see a lot of help at that spot come in, but only one running back, I believe, Ashton Jeanty, is going to go in the first round.
Mel, we know a couple things about you. We know that you are the voice when it comes to draft analysis, and we know that you also love pumpkin pie. With this being the day before Thanksgiving, I, of course, have to ask you about pumpkin pie. On Thanksgiving, when do you break out the pie and start eating it?
Well, I'll tell you, Michelle, I'll give you a little fun fact on this. Pumpkin pie alone, I could never eat. Has to be with whipped cream.
Not
whipped
Cool
cream.
Whip.
No, whipped cream. The fat-free, ready whipped cream is what I use. And that, to me, without that mix, it's not the same. So pumpkin pie alone, standing alone, doesn't get the job done for me. Yeah. It's got to be with the whipped cream. Perfect. That's why I made sure Kim, I said, hey, 3-4 cans. I'll tell you this. In season, I go through 1 fat-free whipped cream a day, sometimes 2 fat-free whipped creams a day.
A day?
A day. And that's not a lie. That's not an exaggeration. Kim can tell you, because she sees them in the trash can. Wow. Sometimes 1, at the max 2, normally 1, 1 1/4.
Mel Kiper Jr., ladies
Impressive
and gentlemen.
Stats.
1 of 1. Just an amazing talent.
Hey, that's why they say I'm crazy, guys.
Mel, we will talk to you next week. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. You take care.
We're on Sportsmanlike on ESPN Radio.
Finding the right employee for your company is tough. One wrong hire can be a major setback. You're not alone if you face this. A recent survey by Robert Half shows nearly half of hiring managers readily admit to making a bad hire. Luckily, there's a solution. With Robert Half's specialized recruiter's experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can have the right skilled professional in place quickly. We understand what it takes to build winning teams because at Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Hey, folks, when it comes to Christmas trees, don't get played by foreign plastic. Just like you wouldn't replace a prize QB with a mannequin. Don't replace American Farm Fresh trees with fake foreign plastic. These farm families are the MVPs of Christmas, growing champions right here on American soil. They're not sitting on the bench. They're out there every day growing real Christmas traditions. Make the winning choice, Farm Fresh Christmas trees, not foreign plastic that pollutes. Visit GetRealKeepItReal.com to find your local farm MVP.
This is Seattle Sports.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ask about Wi-Fi backup for your business or get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract. Plus, for a limited time, ask about an $800 holiday bonus prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to ComcastBusiness.com today. Ins 12/15/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first, before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
People buy what they believe in. Truth be told, with the brands that we sell here, with the exception of Genesis, our luxury brand, every franchise has multiple competitors in a nearby proximity. We have the benefit of the Lee Johnson reputation of doing the right thing and treating people right, giving people a comfortable and a safe place to do business. Then you have the salespeople, the individual people that you're going to meet. Each individual person has an opportunity to sort of unveil our company spirit and their own individual personality and their ability to serve. I've told people, hey, honestly, everybody makes a good car. But once you get down to it, it's going to be about who you're buying into. As much as you're selling the car, you're selling yourself.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
We are Seattle Sports. 7:10 a.m. on your radio. Streaming through the Seattle Sports app. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy from Unsportsmanlike, and I just wanted to wish all of our listeners a happy Turkey Day. And I hope you enjoyed this best of from the morning show. And make sure you tune into Unsportsmanlike weekdays at 6 a.m. right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Unsportsmanlike with Evan Canty and Michelle.
The latest college football playoff rankings have been released. The committee worried about how you play, not who you play.
We have high regard for the teams that make the championship.
Maybe it's more about how you look, and some of these teams, I think, are being ranked highly because of that.
College football playoff rankings out. Heather Dinich joins us. Brought to you by Dr. Pepper. It's on college football season without the delicious taste of an ice cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. Heather, ESPN's Heather Dinich, ESPN.com. What do we need to know from last night's rankings?
Well, a couple things. I think it starts with the SEC being in trouble. A week ago, there were 5 SEC teams in the bracket. Now it's down to 3 with Texas, Georgia, and Tennessee after Ole Miss and Alabama playing their way out. And while the SEC is down, the ACC is up because you have the potential for 3 ACC teams to play their way into this thing, with Miami and SMU both being top 10 teams in the eyes of the committee. That probably increases the likelihood of the loser of the ACC championship game still finishing in the top 12. And then you have Clemson right on the bubble at number 12. And if they beat South Carolina, that could potentially add to their resume enough to make a case for one of the 7 at-large teams if they don't win the ACC.
Heather, looking at the curious case that is Alabama, it's a 3-loss SEC team that has impressive wins on the resume but won't be in the conference title game. Is there a path for Alabama to find their way in the college football playoff when it's all said and done?
Do you consider going to church a path? Because that's where they need to start praying to the football gods. But look, the reality is they've got to win the Iron Bowl for starters, and that's not a guarantee. But they need multiple upsets to happen above them, because even if Clemson loses to South Carolina and by default Alabama moves up into that 12 spot, that's a dangerous spot in this system, because if the committee's 5th highest ranked conference champion is outside of the top 12, that 12th team in the rankings gets bumped out on selection day for that 5th conference champion. And that's probably what would happen to Alabama or Clemson, whoever's in that number 12 seed, if the Big 12 is ranked outside, which clearly they are, because you have to go all the way down to, I want to say, 16 or 17 to find Arizona State.
Heather, there's been a lot of consternation about Indiana, about the strength of schedule. They get beaten handily by Ohio State. But is it safe to say, if they handle their business versus Purdue, that they're a lock?
Yes, barring something catastrophic and a loss to a bad Purdue team, they're a lock, because in the top 10 is the safest place to be. And I just don't see anything happening that would cause the committee to change their mind if it wasn't a double-digit loss to Ohio State.
We're talking with Heather Dinich, ESPN college football reporter, studio analyst, brought to us by Dr. Pepper. I know you alluded to it a little bit, and I know you've written about this and talked about this, but I think it's a fascinating concept. If you could elaborate on the rules of the conference rules, like how the Big 12, as you were mentioning, could not have a team altogether, top 5 versus 4, et cetera, on those conference rules relative to the college football playoff. Because I think many of us, me included, got this wrong coming into this, Heather.
Right. So the rules are the 5 highest ranked conference champions are guaranteed a spot in the playoff, period. That doesn't mean the Power 4 conference champions. In theory, guys, you can have the 5 highest ranked conference champions all coming from the group of 5. But the reality is, you're probably going to have the 4 power conferences and a 5th from the group of 5 in whatever order they finish ranked. But because in this particular ranking, the 4th of 6th rankings, only one spot separates Arizona State, the leading Big 12 team, from Tulane, it is absolutely worth asking the question, is there a scenario where the Big 12 champion gets left out and Tulane joins Boise State as 2 of the 5 highest ranked conference champions from the group of 5? That's a possibility. I don't think it will happen, because who you play in your conference championship game matters. And what you're going to have from the Big 12 most likely is 2 top 15, top 20 teams playing. And Tulane is going to, they have to play Memphis first. Maybe they wind up in the ranking. They have to play Army in the American Athletic Conference Championship. And Army fell out of the committee's top 25. They're 25 coming in this week. They got beat by Notre Dame. They're out of the ranking. So the reality is the Big 12 champion, whoever that is, has a better opportunity to punctuate their resume on arguably the most important day of the season, when the committee's watching all of those teams. But look, if you have a 3-loss team win the Big 12 and a 2-loss Tulane, there's at least a conversation in that room about who should be ranked higher on Selection Day.
Heather, quick follow-up on that. If that were to come to fruition and we would have a Big 12 team left out and no Big 12 teams in, Tulane and Boise State, as you mentioned, get in, would that indicate this is working or not working?
Well, if you ask the American Athletic Conference Commissioner Tim Pernetti, he'd say this is working great. Brett Yormark would have a different opinion of it, and so would Mountain West Conference Commissioner Gloria Nevarez. But, you know, I do think it's important for people to remember that in talking to the FBS commissioners before and during this system, they all agreed to it, guys. That's a very important point to make.
GNC is hitting the holidays hard this year with huge buy one, get one 50% off savings on all of your favorites. Yes, all, as in all your favorites from Ghost, Alani Nu, Prime, Optimum Nutrition, Beyond Raw, Nugenix, and more. Everything you need for the runners, lifters, yogis, and I gotta get in shapers on your list. Buy one, get one 50% off, and it's all happening now through December 3rd. Shop GNC and live well through the holidays.
Great game. You got into the end zone again and again. How'd it feel?
Awesome. Like getting a new iPhone again and again. I just got the new iPhone 16 Pro today.
Really?
Yeah, and with AT&T Next Up Anytime, I can upgrade early every year.
Very nice.
Feel like an MVP again. Learn how to get the new iPhone 16 Pro on us and the latest iPhone every year with AT&T Next Up Anytime. AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Offer subject to change. Additional fees, terms, and restrictions apply. $0 offer may not be available on future iPhones. Next Up Anytime feature may be discontinued at any time. See att.com/iPhone for details.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back, I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew Allshouse of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Your gas light's on. We need to fill up.
Gas around here is too expensive.
Don't drive all over searching for the lowest prices. Just download the free Upside app and get cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying gas? I'm stopping now to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or e-gift card. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code RADIO for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill up. That's promo code RADIO.
Transform your home from top to bottom with State Roofing. Hi, it's Sam Thomason, owner of State Roofing. It's not just about a new roof, it's about a new look for your entire home. Deck out your backyard or give your exterior a facelift with our siding and window options. And there's no better time to start than now with our incredible offer. 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Why wait to make your dream home a reality? We do more than just roofs. Visit stateroofing.com. Let's talk about what's possible for your home.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need. November is a great time to get a new TV. Now that the top-rated brands like Samsung, LG, and Sony are at the lowest prices of the year. With Black Friday deals available, what more could you want? How about better than Black Friday? Before you click, you should call Video Only to see how you can go lower than Black Friday. That's right, the best TVs at better prices. Check out Video Only before you buy, or you'll be sorry.
ACCN is streaming live on the ESPN app.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
We're just getting started. Nothing stops this train. Nothing.
Get used to the mantra, all gas, no break, no break, no break.
From the headquarters of ESPN in Bristol, Connecticut, this is Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Welcome to the best of Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio. I'm Chris Carlin, and from Joe Fortenbaugh and I, we want to wish you and your family a very happy Thanksgiving. Over the next hour, you'll hear some of the best moments from the first year of the show. Let's start with one of our favorites. During the NBA playoffs, we had a chance to chat with comedian and former SportsCenter anchor Craig Kilborn at a time when his beloved Minnesota Timberwolves were on a run to the Western Conference Finals. We began by asking him about how he became a Wolves fan.
My dad was he was born in Queens. He went to Teaneck, New Jersey High School, and then Rutgers. Ironically, the same as David Stern. He was older than David Stern, but he went to the same high school and college as David Stern. But he took a transfer to the Midwest when I was in kindergarten. So I grew up in Minnesota, had a very happy childhood. I always tell people my childhood was comedy and basketball. My dad was very funny, like a Johnny Carson type. And I just am loyal to Minnesota sports teams. And really happy that we have the Timberwolves. When I was growing up in the 70s, because we didn't have a pro basketball team, we had the Minnesota Golden Gopher basketball team with Kevin McHale and Michael Thompson and Ray Williams, and we were very good. And my favorite players, I always like to tell people, when I first discovered basketball, because I was in a hockey state, I even had to play hockey for a while. But I in fact, the coach, it was during basketball season. I want to say it was fifth grade. And he comes in, there's this little shed near the outdoor rink that's heated. And he comes in with the team and he goes, "Hey, Kilborn, you got to make a choice. You're going to play basketball or hockey. If you're going to play basketball, then leave." And I walked out. I was really good at basketball. But my favorite player at the beginning was Walt Clyde Frazier, because my dad was from New York and he liked the Knicks. And then I discovered somebody, one of the most electrifying players in the game, the Doctor, Julius Erving. And because I didn't have a team, I just followed the Doctor. And that was my favorite guy. But when we got the Wolves, I was just like into the Wolves. But I guess I could say I was a pro basketball fan for 20 years before the Wolves came into existence.
Craig Kilborn is with us, the former SportsCenter anchor, former Late Late Show host, The Daily Show. He was the original host of The Daily Show. And, of course, now, if you're not following him on Instagram, you're missing out at Mr. Craig Kilborn. All right, let's get to some of the highlights of your career here. A little Late Late Show, first and foremost. Best guest that you had on either that or on The Daily Show?
I usually say Bill Murray, because for some of us, Bill Murray was the funniest man in the world. And he did... He was a guest on The Daily Show with me, and then he was my first guest on the CBS Late Late Show. Had another guest that I got nervous about. His name is Clint Eastwood, and he was married to a woman that I know. She's a friend of mine, still is. So when I worked in local TV in Salinas, Santa Cruz, Monterey, the 110 market, I lived in Carmel. Clint was the mayor there in the 80s, and I got there in 89 to 92, and I would drive 35 minutes to Salinas and do the nightly sports. And there was a news anchor, not at the same station, but in Carmel, Dina Ruiz, and we were friends. And I went to ESPN. I left Carmel, Monterey, and she called me when I was at ESPN, and she says, "I'm dating Clint Eastwood." There was like a 33-year age gap there. And then she called me later and said, "I'm marrying Clint." And they were married for 18 years, but she got him on my CBS Late Late Show. And he hadn't even done Letterman's show, and Letterman, of course, owned my show. So that was a big deal, and I'm grateful for that. And I went to full hour with Clint. Usually we have a second guest and a band, but I went the full hour with him. And one of the 5 questions I said to Clint, and finally, I want you to squint because it's sunny outside and squint because you're angry. I want to see the difference in your squints, because that was a big... a big part of his acting was squinting.
I always enjoyed the Late Late Show, especially when you had Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau on. It seemed like you were genuinely friends with those guys. You were on Old School. You were in Old School. We were watching some of the clips this morning, especially the bathroom scene with Luke Wilson, who doesn't even get a word in during that scene. It's just hilarious. Evan, our producer, brings up the idea of imagine going into someone else's bathroom and just drinking their mouthwash and then putting it down. It's fantastic. We were curious, when you're working on that movie, you're around Luke, you're around Will Ferrell, you're around Vince Vaughn. Like, who's the funniest of the group?
Will Ferrell's the funniest guy around, so I would have to go Will. Love Vince, one of my favorite guests. Luke was. They're all very supportive of me. In the bathroom scene, they told me they thought I did a nice job because I was it was my first movie, and I was doing the show, so I would drive to do my scenes and then drive back and do a show. I couldn't take any days off. But the bathroom scene went well. Those guys were great, and I did hang out with them off camera as well.
Craig Kilborn is with us. Okay, I mean, the line itself is so perfect in tossing a towel into somebody's chest and saying, "Great talk. We'll see you out there." I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've said the line, but have you ever genuinely tossed a towel in somebody's chest as you're finishing a conversation?
I'm not quite that obnoxious. No. So the answer is no. Good talk. But I do like that summary. Okay, the one that I use all the time, and I actually used to sign my 8x10s because I would have to give autographs to these people, the fans at the show, was proud of you.
Yeah.
Proud of you. And so that's kind of my summation. Like, when we're done today, I might say, "Thanks, guys. Remember, proud of you." That's what I say at the end of my podcast. Remember, young people, I'm proud of you. Anyways, but I haven't tossed a towel. I'm not quite that much of a jerk. That guy, just to let you know, is more of a jerk than I am, if you can believe that.
The podcast is called the Life Gorgeous Podcast. For those who want to check it out, Craig Kilborn with us. Speaking of catchphrases, you were on SportsCenter. You had a lot of good ones. If there was a non-Kilby SportsCenter phrase that would rank as one of your favorites, you got to go outside the Kilborn arsenal. Whose would it be?
Kenny Mayne, with the home run call, give you finest meats and cheese. Is that what he said when they would hit a? Oh yeah, Kenny is very funny. I think it was that one.
The finest meats and cheese is top notch. Well, listen, we can't do this without doing 5 questions with Craig Kilborn. We have to do that. You realize this.
You can if you want to, but I'm willing to participate.
Boys, hit the music.
By the way, so you're not the first guys to do this, but oftentimes, and this is okay, you don't have to change your questions. Oftentimes, I would do only one of the 5 would be a choice, either or. And oftentimes, when they write them, when I'm doing a guest on somebody's show, most of them are choices. But that's okay. Whatever you guys did, I'm ready.
Okay.
All right. Let's get to it. Hit the music, boys, if you've got it. Let's just start here. Question number 1 for Craig Kilborn. 5 questions. Craig, who wins in a fight, a bear or a shark?
I don't know if there's a correct answer. My instinct is a bear.
Now, I want you to keep in mind, Craig, that that's a neutral field, neutral site. Imagine that it's in space. Does that change your answer?
Space.
Oh. I'm still going to go bear because I like bears. I'm sorry.
I think that's a solid choice.
All right.
Absolutely. What's the correct answer?
I don't think we actually thought that out.
Well, we did, but we'll make it happen.
All right, so what's the biggest hole in the plot of the 1985 classic Teen Wolf? Am I supposed to go with the rest of this, Carlin?
That's the answer.
That's the answer? Okay, I figured if I let it out there, then good. I didn't want to reveal that. I'm sorry.
That a white guy could dunk?
Actually, that's incorrect, Craig. At the end of the movie, the villain Mick would never be permitted to stand under the basket as Scott attempted his free throws. Also, we would have accepted Chubbs did not get enough shots in the game. All right. Number 3. You know, Spam. Spam has made quite the comeback. Where was Spam invented?
Hawaii.
Incorrect. Minnesota. As a T-Wolves fan, you should know that.
Oh. There was an actress on our show named Kelly Hu, H-U. She was on some CBS show, and she was from Hawaii, and she liked Spam. So I just said Hawaii. Anyways.
That's where it's very popular. Number 4, proper way to order a martini.
Well, I'm not. A purist will have gin, and I'm not a purist. And a purist will have it stirred. I'm just going to tell you what Craigers does. Chopin or Belvedere up, ice cold, no vermouth, which means it's not a martini. 3 blue cheese olives.
That is correct.
Yep, absolutely correct. Last one.
Thank God. Thank you.
Last one. Craig, can everyone pull off an ascot?
No. And for the record, I think I've only worn an ascot in public once. I was at a restaurant. Nate's on Marsh in San Luis Obispo. And I just like wearing them around the house because I have fun around the house. My 1923 English manner. And I wear ascots. But I am English on both sides, and I'm a bit of a dandy, and I'm a bit of an Anglophile. And I love ascots, but I don't wear them often out. I might do it. If the Wolves win the championship, I'm going to wear them all summer long.
I love the idea that it's just while you're in the house.
I know. It's so funny. It's a funny thing. You shouldn't drink alone, young people. I like to drink in moderation. I only have 1 martini a week now at my age. But I used to just shower and put on nice clothes and go down to my club chair and drink alone and then order in. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, I think visually we had you at a bit of a dandy with a conquistador lamp behind you.
Thank you. Thank you very
Craig,
much.
Thank you so much. The podcast is the Life Gorgeous Podcast on Instagram at Mr. Craig Kilborn. Awesome stuff, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Kilby.
Hey, guys, I'm proud of you.
That was Craig Kilborn on Carlin versus Joe. Up next, who said it? Jim Harbaugh or ChatGPT? I'm Chris Carlin, and you're listening to the best of Carlin versus Joe.
Hey, folks, when it comes to Christmas trees, don't get played by foreign plastic. Just like you wouldn't replace a prize QB with a mannequin. Don't replace American farm fresh trees with fake foreign plastic. These farm families are the MVPs of Christmas, growing champions right here on American soil. They're not sitting on the bench. They're out there every day growing real Christmas traditions. Make the winning choice, farm fresh Christmas trees, not foreign plastic that pollutes. Visit GetRealKeepItReal.com to find your local farm MVP.
Hear that? The sound of your antique fountain pen gliding across linen paper as you journal in the park. And if you were here, you'd be inspired by the warm breeze. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. And the wind in your face on the road is all the inspiration you need. So if you ride, get a quote and see if you could save with Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Now that's inspiring. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
This is Seattle Sports.
Take your game day experience to the next level with a Mariner Suite. Suites are perfect for birthdays, anniversaries, client meetings, and that company outing you've been trying to plan for months. Enjoy first-class catering, VIP parking, custom setups for 14 to 400 people, and more, all with the help of a dedicated Mariners rep. Suites start at $125 per person, and season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve now at mariners.com/suites.
Munoz strikes out the side, and the ball game is over.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up. You can go farther and save on full synthetic with our oil change special. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic with an STP Extended Life oil filter for just $33.99. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Make this holiday season extra special in the kitchen of your dreams while saving thousands. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a total tear-out. Book now, have your new kitchen before the holidays, and you'll save an additional 15% up to $3,000 off your new kitchen. Call now for a free in-home consultation. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Hey, are you looking to save on internet and mobile this holiday season? Well, good news. Xfinity is having a Black Friday sale. They have you covered with these great deals. Learn how to get your choice of a 5G phone on Xfinity. Plus, you can also get fast, reliable Xfinity internet with a line of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited for a great low price. So don't wait. Bring home a new 5G phone and get Wi-Fi speeds up to a gig on Xfinity Mobile. That's a big deal, or should I say a gig deal. Now through December 3rd, ask how to get your choice of free 5G phone with an unlimited plus line. Plus, get Xfinity Gigabit internet with free Wi-Fi equipment for only $25 a month for 12 months with no annual contract when you add unlimited mobile. Go to Xfinity.com/Black Friday sale to learn more. Restrictions apply, taxes and fees extra after promo, regular rates apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires Xfinity Gateway. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Gig speeds available via hotspots to Xfinity Mobile customers only. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Actual internet speeds and data thresholds may vary.
We are Seattle Sports. 7:10 a.m. on your radio. Streaming through the Seattle Sports app. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
Happy Thanksgiving. You're listening to the best of Carlin versus Joe. I'm Chris Carlin. After Jim Harbaugh agreed to become the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers, we decided to test Joe Fortenbaugh's skills in a little game we call Who Said It?
Was it Aaron Rodgers or the Dalai Lama?
Relax.
Kanye or Kyrie?
That's another root of human struggle.
Or Carlin or Joe?
I've never been interested in facts.
It's time again to ask, who said it?
It's one of my favorite things, to do. I've been pumped up, waiting for Jim Harbaugh to get a job so we could do this. It's Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio on Sirius XM Channel 80. So we were joking around a couple of weeks ago that Jim Harbaugh basically has an AI unit in his body that is running his responses to questions. So it got me to thinking, what if I actually put it to ChatGPT to give me some things that Jim Harbaugh would say? And what came out of artificial intelligence is remarkable. So, Joe, here's how the game is going to work.
Can I ask you one quick question?
Yes.
How did you get these responses from ChatGPT? You asked it a question and then got a response. Is that how it works?
I literally typed into ChatGPT.com.
Okay.
What are some things that Jim Harbaugh would say publicly?
Okay.
And this is what came out.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you a quote, and you will tell me if Jim Harbaugh said it or if AI said it.
Copy that. I think I can follow those instructions.
For instance, I'll give you a sample question at first. Victory is sweet, just like a big bowl of vanilla ice cream. No sprinkles, though. We keep it simple.
That's Jim Harbaugh.
That, my friend, is AI, Jim Harbaugh.
This is off to a horrific start. I thought
this is going to be a very, very tough game.
Harbaugh didn't say that. It feels like that's exact. I feel like I heard him say that once.
That's why AI is going to rule the world.
Wow, I need to buy that property in Montana a lot faster than I thought I did.
Yes, you do. All right, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go. Well, no, actually, I'm not ready, clearly.
Joe, first quote. It's like the human body. What a tremendous organism. It actually craves contact. If you backed a car into a brick wall, it would cause $2,000 of damage. It doesn't have the ability to heal itself, but a human body does.
Oh, my God.
They will not all be that long.
I'm gonna say that's Harbaugh.
Correct. That is Jim Harbaugh.
I had zero confidence with that. After the first one, you got me rattled. All right, so Jim Harbaugh did say that.
Yes, Jim Harbaugh said it.
Oh, okay.
Number 2, Joe, playing a tough team is like going into a lion's den. Good thing we brought our roars and our game plans.
That's ChatGPT. That's AI Jim Harbaugh.
Correct.
All right.
Why khakis? Well, they're the Swiss Army knife of pants. Versatile, dependable, and they match everything.
Jim Harbaugh.
ChatGPT.
That's ChatGPT?
Yep.
Wow.
I take a vitamin every day. It's called steak.
That's Jim Harbaugh.
Correct. I don't take vacations. I don't get sick. I don't observe major holidays. I'm a jackhammer.
ChatGPT.
That's Jim Harbaugh.
Harbaugh doesn't observe holidays? I thought he was very religious.
Apparently not. Apparently not.
Then his brother just opened up his post-game press conference quoting the Bible.
I know.
After the Houston game.
He didn't say anything about religion. He said major holidays.
Major holidays tend to coincide with religion, last I checked.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, injuries are like that annoying relative who overstays their welcome during the holidays. We'll kick them out soon.
Man, I'm shook. I am so shook right now. I got no rhythm. Like, you know how you're doing something in your life where you got no rhythm, no flow, like a round of golf is just going south? Jim Harbaugh.
That is, I'm sorry. That is incorrect.
I got that one wrong. That's ChatGPT.
That was ChatGPT.
How am I doing here? Am I hitting 500?
Not quite yet. Evan, do we have an official count?
No, no one's paying attention.
Yeah, nobody's paying attention.
All
right. Before they had crunchy peanut butter, I would put peanuts in the creamy peanut butter.
Sounds like something he would do, Harbaugh.
Correct.
Yeah,
that is Jim
like
Harbaugh.
He would do. Not enough protein.
No, absolutely not. I'm a Tupac man myself, and my all-time favorite song, Gordon Lightfoot's The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
I don't even understand that. You know what? AI?
Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh said it. I consulted a good friend of mine, Joe Rogan, and I've been doing a lot of the stuff he recommended on his podcast.
Wow. AI.
I'm sorry, that's Aaron Rodgers. That's Aaron Rodgers. My bad right there. Finally, Joe.
I'm close enough.
Our team spirit is so strong, it could power a rocket to the moon. Maybe we'll try that in the offseason.
AI.
Correct.
Nice.
That is AI Jim Harbaugh.
That was good.
Who said it was one game where Joe performed well? It was another story when it came to Joe Fortenbaugh versus sports trivia. Stick around for the best hijinks when it comes to the Hembo Hammer. That's next on the best of Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
This is Seattle Sports.
Hey, folks, this is it. The best weekend of the year for buying a TV. Forget inflation, because now you've got deflation with Black Friday pricing on top-rated brands like Samsung, LG, and Sony. Where's the best place to shop? It's not the clubs or online. Join the smart shoppers heading for video only, because they've got better than Black Friday deals. That's right, better. Don't believe it? Then bring your prices to video only and compare before you buy. Or you'll be sorry. At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma. Video Only.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew Elshouse of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Brewster King Salmon Derby tickets are on sale now through Friday. Get your tickets before they sell out. Presented by VIP Insurance Agencies and hosted by Brewster Community Senior Center. Brought to you by Brewster Bait and Tackle Shop. BrewsterKingSalmonDerby.com.
I was having trouble getting up and down my stairs at home. I thought, well, this isn't going to work because how am I going to go to Utah and do some hiking?
When Judy came to Sound Pain Solutions, her knee pain was preventing her from enjoying an active lifestyle. She was diagnosed with osteoarthritis. She tried numerous treatments and was told she should have surgery. I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. We were able to get Judy back to hiking with our comprehensive, non-surgical, and drug-free treatment.
I think that the Trigenics that they do along with the adjustment, the pressure wave, and the PRP are the best options for joint pain. And I would really recommend it to anybody who is suffering from joint pain and would like to avoid surgery.
Schedule a free consultation to learn if you qualify for our safe, drug-free, non-surgical treatment by calling Sound Pain Solutions or visiting soundpainsolutions.com.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. First NFL game on this Thanksgiving Day. Jared Goff's thrown for 145 yards and a touchdown pass to Sam Laporta. Jake Bates has kicked a couple of field goals. Lions leading the Bears 16-0 at halftime. Chicago managing just 53 yards on offense in the first half. Giants expected to start Drew Lock at quarterback in place of the injured Tommy DeVito against the Cowboys today. Chiefs activated running back Isaiah Pacheco off IR and defensive end Charles Omenihu off the PUP list in time for them to play tomorrow against the Raiders. Steelers offensive coordinator Arthur Smith said today he had a preliminary conversation with his alma mater, North Carolina, about the head coaching vacancy, but emphasized his happiness in Pittsburgh. UConn forward Alex Caravan, taken to a hospital for a head injury after last night's loss, got clearance to fly home with the rest of the team shortly before takeoff.
Happy Thanksgiving. This is the best of Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio. I'm Chris Carlin. Everyone loves sports trivia, or at least everyone but Joe Fortenbaugh. Let's take a listen back to what happened when we combined Joe, Hembo, and some harmless trivia questions.
You must be here for the trivia challenge.
Do you have the answer to this week's trivia question?
Oh, I love trivia.
What's up, boys? It's hammer time.
This is the Hembo Hammer.
We've got the Hembo Hammer. Here is today's question, as we heard just moments ago.
Which team has lost the most consecutive Week 1 games?
All right, Mr. Fortenbaugh, your guess first.
I want to make it very clear, this is honest. This show is nothing if not honest.
No,
Our
neither one of us went and looked it up.
No cheating.
No.
What's the point, right?
What does that do for me?
What is the point of doing that? We are going to play this honest. So my official answer on this, the Cleveland Browns.
That's interesting, and I thought about going that way. My official answer on this is the Detroit Lions.
Two well-run programs over the last couple centuries.
Yes.
Well, remember,
exactly.
Hembo said it was a layup. So.
Well, I actually thought about it being...
If it turns out to be like, the Patriots, I'm going to there's going to be a conversation with Hembo. There's going to be I'm just going to say it like that. There's going to be a conversation.
There might be one anyway. This question is not a layup. Let's just, even if
so we both got it wrong?
No, even if the answers that you guys had are correct, the question itself is not a layup, and Hembo and I already had a conversation about using the word layup for a question like that. That's all.
Well, Hembo likes to lean into the idea that he is smarter than the rest of us, and he wants America to know. Hembo wants to be a villain. He wants to be a villain, and it's okay. So if he is performative in that regard, I welcome it. And it'll make it all the more sweeter the times that we win. So what is the correct answer?
The correct answer is Atlanta. Guys, the Falcons have lost 5 straight season openers dating to 2018.
Wait. Is this current active streaks?
Yeah.
I thought it was just the longest week 1 streak in history.
Which team has lost the most consecutive week 1 games?
He didn't say active.
He didn't say active.
Wow.
What a meathead.
Already controversy.
What a meathead. What a meathead to mail it in and be so lazy, but to think you're going to be so funny on the back end with that commentary. He does not make it clear that it's active. It's not active. That is the type of stat that sounds like what is the longest ever.
See, it made me think.
Look up the answer to that, somebody, please, because if it's Cleveland, that segment's done. Hembo is out.
I have to tell, to be fair, and it's not something I'm interested in being usually.
Yeah,
I took it to mean active. That's how I was thinking about it.
When you play it back, though, you can see how someone
the long version. He says it in the long version. He says active.
All right, boys, it's hammer time. Week 1 is upon us, which raises this trivia question. Which NFL team owns the longest active streak of starting 0-1? In other words,
so here's the
I would like to first. I got to retract everything I just said. I'd like to retract everything I just said about Hembo. I like him very much. I got a little over my skis there.
No. Hang on.
I would like to apologize.
Everything that you just said about Hembo, we now turn and make it about Evan Wilner, our producer, who cut the Hembo question down to this.
Which team has lost the most consecutive week 1 games?
That's what we just gave again. So there,
very fair.
You're serving us up the old screw job right there.
You didn't think about and come up with your answers before you heard it the second time?
No, I waited until the second time. I'm thorough like that. What are you? You just race into the SAT questions without any prep whatsoever?
Yes, and if you saw my SAT scores, you'd know that that's what I did. Also, I also get caught up in I can't have 3 C's in a row, so a couple different times I was like, well, that one can't be C.
That is just an awful approach to taking a test. I can't think of a worse approach to taking a test. So not only does the question not matter, if you've had a couple C's in a row, you're now thinking that the test is tricking you.
Yes.
So you're eliminating C from contention solely because of a perceived pattern that you, John Nash, beautiful mind, have uncovered.
Yes.
I just find that hard to believe that's how, the Bill Gates of the world take their tests.
Yeah, the only way that I would ever compare him to John Nash is to have a bunch of stuff up on a corkboard that makes absolutely no sense.
This segment is a disaster. This segment is an absolute disaster of a segment.
Wow. Honestly, right out of the gate, you just completely hosed him right there.
I would like to know what the longest active is. I want a piece of this action.
No, the longest active is the Falcons.
Yeah, okay.
So
now
what's
I'm
the longest of all time?
What's the longest of all time? Longest active. 5. Who cares? Who cares about who has the longest active streak? Who's got the longest active streak for most consecutive home runs in a game? 30 guys are tied at 1. What a great trivia question.
See, this is why this segment's not going anywhere.
I'm thinking about walking out.
I want aggravation out of it.
I'm thinking about walking out. We started the hour talking about the mozzarella sticks. I'm hungry. I've been thinking about that. I'm all confused.
Listen, this is why you incorporate Hembo into the show, because he's going to find a way to stick it to you.
Yeah.
And that's what just happened.
It's well played.
The Browns did lose 17 straight week 1 games.
What do you know? What do you know? And there's no way anyone is worse than that. So I'm counting that as right. Yeah, it is the record. I'm counting it as right. I was right. I outsmarted Hembo at his own stupid question.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Carlin was on the wrong end of both. So, that's awful.
Get used to that.
Your question is this. Who is the only quarterback in the history of the Chargers to start multiple conference championship games?
Yeah, I think it's fast.
I got Drew
What do you
Brees.
think?
Drew Brees. Go ahead and let's get the answer.
The correct answer is Dan Fouts. Dan Fouts lost the AFC title game in 1980 and 1981.
Once again, Hembo didn't specify if the quarterback was playing for the Chargers when he went to the conference championship game. And my answer is correct because a Chargers quarterback who appeared in multiple conference championship games would be Drew Brees. He went to 2.
You know, I should have known that you were going to try to pull some
Not pulling anything.
There.
Listen to
I'm sorry, that's garbage
question.
on your part.
He needs to phrase the question better. If you play the game Immaculate Gridiron and they ask for a New Orleans Saints player that's won the MVP award, you can put Adrian Peterson in there because Adrian Peterson played for the Saints but won an MVP with the Vikings. That's what Hembo should be aware of. He knows that game just like I do. He plays the baseball version of it. He's got to clean up the questions. Listen to the question.
Your question is this. Who is the only quarterback in the history of the Chargers to start multiple conference championship games? Good luck.
Drew Brees is a quarterback in the history of the Chargers who has started multiple conference championship games. It never said he had to start them for the Chargers. That's on Hembo.
You must be here for the trivia challenge.
Do you have the answer to this week's trivia question?
Oh, I love trivia.
What's up, boys? It's hammer time.
This is the Hembo Hammer.
It is that, as we do each and every week at this time on Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio on Sirius XM Channel 80. Let us go back once again and hear the Hembo Hammer question for this week.
The correct answer is Tom Izzo.
Oh!
Nicely done, Fat Fingers.
Wow.
What did you do? Hit the wrong button?
I hit the wrong button. I completely ruined it.
Well, I mean, Izzo's probably one of only a couple guesses there. I mean, what else would we have been guessing? All the old school guys have been retiring. It was Izzo herself.
Who did I just call the show killer? Evan, what the hell just happened there? How did I do that?
We're going to fix this. Do you guys want to guess who's second? Because Hembo sent me the top 3.
No, because I was going to say Izzo. I was going to say Izzo. I'm not going to reposition my day. I'm riding a heater. I got 2 in a row.
Look at you.
It's on the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man for that.
Yeah, it's all on me.
So what, you just hit the wrong button?
I just hit the wrong button. I thought
you were going to catch it. I thought you were going to stop it. I thought you were
I thought I did too.
I felt like he was going to stop it.
I thought I was about to. And here's the thing. Just to pull you behind the screen. Like every day, I go through a painstaking process to make sure, just to make it easier for Handman, but honestly, because it's truly that I don't trust Handman, that I can play the sound from here. Right?
Yeah.
I go through this whole process. Listen, I have to be able to get it right, okay? And then Fat Fingers fires away on the answer as opposed to asking the question.
Yep, moving forward, executive decision, Handman's back in charge of the audio.
You must be here for the trivia challenge.
Do you have the answer to this week's trivia question?
Oh, I love trivia.
What's up, boys? It's hammer time.
This is the Hembo Hammer.
You guys notice every little thing in any piece of sound we play.
A lot of pep from Hembo today.
Did you not notice how different this question sounds?
I already commented on that multiple times.
No.
Long time, no hammer. Carlin, this one's for you. That sounded like Hembo to you?
Well, when he said, Carlin, this one's for you, first of all, I thought he was trying to stick it to me. So that's where I'm going on.
Oh, okay.
He was all fired up. I mentioned how fired up he was. I caught that immediately,
Let's listen
especially on the way out.
One more time.
On the way
I said
out.
we haven't had him in a few weeks because he's been off. From what he's been off, I don't know.
What's up, boys? Long time, no hammer. Carlin, this one's for you. What was the last team to win the World Series, then have a losing record the following season? The last team to win the World Series and have a losing record the following season. Good luck.
So you don't think that's a sketchy question at all? I'm not saying the letter of the law in the questions is accurate. I'm saying in the spirit of the question, you're hitting me with a COVID shortened season.
We're having like 8 different conversations here right now. You two are back there laughing. He's still arguing about the question. We're on 10 different things.
The energy of Hembo was certainly different.
It's Eric's voice.
No, it's not even Eric's voice.
Who is it?
It's Cam. Hembo sent me the question and then forgot to record it during Greeny. So Cam recorded it as Hembo, and you guys had no idea.
Oh, that's incredible.
Wow. Hit it again.
Oh, that's so good.
What's up, boys? Long time, no hammer. Carlin, this one's for you. What was the last team to win the World Series, then have a losing record the following season? The last team to win the World Series and have a losing record the following season. Good luck.
Oh, my God. Even after you tell me it's Cam, it still sounds like Hembo.
I totally agree.
That is fantastic. I didn't know he did that good of a Hembo. Is that a thing he does on the show?
Oh, my God.
I don't think I've heard him do a Hembo, but he does a lot of good impressions.
What are the other good impressions?
He can sing Rainbow Sunshine in the Kermit the Frog voice very well.
All right. I'll deal with that later. I thought you were going to say, well, he also does Greeny and like that. That really threw me through a loop. We'll address that later. That's incredible.
That was an incredible Hembo. I just thought
it was Hembo pepped up a little bit. That's it. Just pepped up.
Long time, no Hembo. I'm like, long time, no hammer. I'm like,
the inflections. He nails the inflections.
That was
It's not just that he sounds like him. The way he hits all the highs and lows of how Hembo.
Wow.
Oh, man. Bravo.
I'd be embarrassed that I didn't pick up on that if it wasn't that good. So just a little while ago, we have our Hembo Hammer each and every week at this, at 1:45 Eastern time, and we played the intro for it.
You must be here for the trivia challenge.
Do you have the answer to this week's trivia question?
Well, that, of course, was the voice of Moe the bartender from The Simpsons. Turns out Moe was listening. Not too happy.
Moe was listening?
Yes.
What does that even mean?
Moe was listening to our segment when we were about to do that and heard his own voice, which he interpreted as not being meant for this show. In other words, basically, Moe feels like we pirated a piece of his intellectual property for our own use. I might point out to Moe that Disney now owns The Simpsons, which we are all one family, but Moe was not thinking along those lines, and he let us know that.
Yeah, so not only is you guys illegally and immorally using my vocal image there, but you just got me with promoting trivia, which couldn't be like a worse waste of time endeavor. That, I don't know, they one time had me mentioned once, and now you're just repurposing it for some baseball nonsense. I hate baseball. I hate it, all right? It's boring. Plus, my dad used to whack things in the house with a bat, and it was real loud. But I don't want to go into my child. Now you got me all choked up about my childhood. Don't use my voice no more.
Got a little dark there with Moe for a second.
He really took himself through it.
He really did. And apparently we have upset him.
I love
Apologies.
the honking. I love the honking in the background. What was Moe doing? Like
Moe was walking through the streets of New York City with his earbuds in, listening the whole time, and locked in on the show. And Moe was not pleased with that, and that message was sent to me from Moe.
There has to be at least somebody who walked by who was like, what the hell is this guy doing? Having no idea, absolutely no idea what was happening or what would happen following that moment.
Well, all I can tell you is, here, Moe's mantra, I think he has actually trademarked this prior to Dion doing it. F around and find out. Don't worry, we never actually got that cease and desist letter from Moe the bartender. At least not yet. Coming up next, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Peyton Manning, tells us why he's just like the rest of us. You're listening to the best of Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
This is Seattle Sports.
At State Roofing, you can trust us to get your project done right because we prioritize quality and excellence in everything we do. Take advantage of 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest today, and don't pay until 2025. Call State Roofing at 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
If you worked in aircraft manufacturing or aircraft painting at Boeing, semiconductor or printed circuit board manufacturing, or other industries where hazardous chemicals or solvents were used, your children may be entitled to legal damages. Birth defects have been linked to toxic chemicals and solvents used in these industries. If your child was born with brain or spinal cord damage, organ or limb deformities, blindness, cerebral palsy, genetic damage, or other issues, and you're a past or present aircraft manufacturing or painting, semiconductor or circuit board worker, contact Weinstein-Cajano now, toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your children may be entitled to legal damages. If you are a past or present worker in aircraft manufacturing or aircraft painting at Boeing, semiconductor or printed circuit board manufacturing, or other industry worker, and your child has a birth defect, call toll-free 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your call is confidential. 1-866-998-6942. That's 1-866-99-TOXIC. Message authorized by Weinstein-Cajano, 600 University Street, Suite 1620, Seattle, Washington.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply. Febreze.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Now. We tend not to think about now. We dream about tomorrow, relive yesterday. But sometimes we don't see what's right in front of us. Victory over cancer is in front of us. Right now, cancer research is saving lives. Cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to new discoveries and new treatments, and ultimately, one day, victory over cancer. Give to the V Foundation. Right now, 1 out of every 2 men and 1 out of every 3 women will get cancer in their lifetime. Now is your moment. You may save someone you love. 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing research. 100%. Donate at v.org. Because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
This is the best of Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio. Happy Thanksgiving. Hall of Famer Peyton Manning stopped by the show prior to the new season of the Manning cast, and Joe asked him what's changed since he and his brother Eli began their Monday Night Football altcast 3 years ago.
Well, Eli and I are having a lot of fun. It's probably the main thing, and I think the thing we enjoy the most, right? We love watching football. We love talking football with people who love football as much as we do. I mean, McEnroe loves ball. Obviously, Fitzpatrick loves ball. But, Snoop Dogg last year, Condoleezza Rice, the unifying thing is they all love football. I think that's been the coolest part about it is having these guests on from different walks of life that are in different fields. But like I said, we can all kind of come together and just talk.
Peyton, you and I have something in common, and that is a love for 80s, 90s comedies, Fletch, Caddyshack, The Jerk, Stripes, Vacation. I know you're a fan of all of them. Are you a movie quote guy? Do you hit people with movie quotes all the time, hoping that they are picking up on that?
Oh, for sure. It's funny. Eli was talking to Coach Hackett, and Coach Hackett was talking about Garrett Wilson, and he was saying, God, he's so athletic. He's elastic. He said, I call him Gumby is his nickname. And he said, Garrett Wilson's like, who is Gumby? Gumby, no idea. And that reminds me, when I was in my football meetings, and, I would say something like, this is crazy, right? Getting ready to get into the pool with Christy. And the other quarterbacks are like, what? What do you say? I don't get that. I'm like, go watch these 5 movies, learn these quotes. Otherwise, you and I are going to have no relationship. Right? This is your homework for the weekend. So, big movie quote guy. But you got to know your audience, right? You got to know who you're talking to. Otherwise, you got to hear crickets.
One thing I was always hoping I could run by you if I ever had the chance to talk to you. For 6 years, I worked in the Bay Area with former NFL fullback Lorenzo Neal on Sports Talk Radio. Lo's a great guy. Lo speaks extremely highly of you. He's told a story that I want to run by you because you might be familiar with it, where when he would go to the Pro Bowl, one of the best things about being at the Pro Bowl when it was in Hawaii was that the veterans would hang out by the pool and everyone would get to have a good time and you get to meet the young guys. And he said there was this one NFL quarterback who was kind of, one of the big honchos there. And when rookie Pro Bowlers would show up, the quarterback would get to know these guys. And he would get to know them under the guise of, I'm impressed with your work. I'd love to get to talk to you more. What's your room number? I'll come by later. So that quarterback could eventually use the room number to charge his drinks and food to. Have you ever heard of anything like that?
Oh, golly. I thought what happened at the Pro Bowl was supposed to stay at the Pro Bowl because the Pro Bowl in Hawaii doesn't exist anymore. I guess everything's out the window. That is true. It was just too easy. I mean, these young quarterbacks, or even it was really any first-year Pro Bowler, they were so, eager to give up their room number. It was so easy. And we're like, 236. Okay, that's a good place to charge the 25 Mai Tais I'm just buying for the offensive line here. So checkout was not quite as fun for some of those rookies at the Pro Bowl when they got their bill. But, Lorenzo Neal is one of the greats. And I still say that's my great takeaway from playing football is the relationships I made, not just with my own teammates, but with guys that I competed against. And, I got to know Tony Gonzalez, and, of course, that's kind of where I met Brady and John Lynch. And so I still see that in the NFL. I think it's still one of the best parts about the game is the mutual respect that, players have with each other. I think that's good for the game.
Last one before we let you go. One of the great all-time SNL skits is you with the United Way and playing football with the kids. How many takes did it take hitting those kids with those footballs?
It was, I tell you, people don't believe me. The football, the Nerf is actually, they cut the Nerf out. The footballs were they were flappable. I mean, they weighed nothing. And so actually,
I didn't think you actually drilled kids with NFL footballs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you put those sandbags, but it was like you were just knocking. I still say, the out route that I hit on the kid running toward the portalet, one of the best throws I've ever made. It hit him in the back. But it's funny, look, that's 2007, right? So I got an email last year from kind of a friend of a friend saying that Jack, the kid who I hit in the back, was getting married, and would I do kind of a video for his rehearsal dinner. And my brother Cooper kind of helped me write this, but it went something like this. I said, Jack, Peyton Manning here. Listen, when I walk down the street, a few people know me because I threw a few touchdowns, but for the most part, people recognize me because you let me hit you in the face with a football over 15 years ago. So thank you for putting me on the map, and best wishes for eternal happiness. So anyway, that was a good memory. Hard to believe it's been 2007, and all these kids are all grown up, but it's good stuff.
That was Hall of Famer Peyton Manning. Let's go from a former quarterback to a current one. We had a blast when Ohio State quarterback Will Howard joined Carlin versus Joe.
Howard gets the snap, sets up at the Purdue 27 to throw. Fires down on the right foot, caught by Smith, 15, races to the 10, to the 5, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Jeremiah Smith. 17-yard TD pass from Will Howard. Jeremiah Smith into the end zone with his 9th receiving touchdown. 20-0 Ohio State.
That is the great Paul Keels from Learfield, the voice of the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's Will Howard with a touchdown pass, and he is, of course, the quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes, and he joins us right now on Carlin versus Joe. Will, it's Chris Carlin and Joe Fortenbaugh on ESPN Radio. We appreciate a few minutes. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you gentlemen doing?
Not good. I'm going to jump in here. I'm a Penn State grad. It didn't have to go that way, Will. Didn't have to go that way. I mean, every now and again, we can let the Lions win one of these.
Oh, man, that's one thing, man. The Buckeyes don't lose the Nittany Lions. Believe me, I was a Penn State fan growing up, too, and I knew it. Now I'm just on the right side of it.
How good did it feel to walk into that stadium and do that?
It was awesome, and for it to happen the way that it did, it wasn't my best game, but for us to pull it out in the fourth, and our defense to have that big stand, and us to go, drive the ball down the field to, end the game with the ball in our hands, man, it was special, and after the game, just being able to celebrate with my family, and with my teammates, it was unbelievable.
Will Howard is with us. All right, so you're a Downingtown, PA guy, Philly guy. Are you a 4-for-4 Philly fan? Is it all Philadelphia teams?
All four, man. Sixers, Flyers, Phillies, Eagles.
Where are you on the Sixers this year? What are they going to do?
I
think you just summed it up.
We'll pretend one day you might be in this chair. You might be doing sports talk radio one day if you want. Like, you got to come hot with it.
It's.
Hey, folks, when it comes to Christmas trees, don't get played by foreign plastic. Just like you wouldn't replace a prize QB with a mannequin. Don't replace American Farm Fresh trees with fake foreign plastic. These farm families are the MVPs of Christmas, growing champions right here on American soil. They're not sitting on the bench. They're out there every day growing real Christmas traditions. Make the winning choice, Farm Fresh Christmas trees, not foreign plastic that pollutes. Visit GetRealKeepItReal.com to find your local farm MVP.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
On October 21st, 2006, Michigan State found themselves down 38-3 with less than 10 minutes to go in the third quarter, and they made that initial deficit like it never even happened, scoring 38 straight points to win 41-38.
Incomplete. The ball game is over. The Michigan State Spartans in one of the greatest comebacks in Michigan State football history.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
Hey, are you looking to save on internet and mobile this holiday season? Well, good news. Xfinity is having a Black Friday sale. They have you covered with these great deals. Learn how to get your choice of a 5G phone on Xfinity. Plus, you can also get fast, reliable Xfinity internet with a line of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited for a great low price. So don't wait. Bring home a new 5G phone and get Wi-Fi speeds up to a gig on Xfinity Mobile. That's a big deal. Or should I say a gig deal? Now through December 3rd, ask how to get your choice of free 5G phone with an unlimited plus line. Plus, get Xfinity Gigabit internet with free Wi-Fi equipment for only $25 a month for 12 months with no annual contract when you add unlimited mobile. Go to Xfinity.com/Black Friday sale to learn more. Restrictions apply, taxes and fees extra after promo, regular rates apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires Xfinity Gateway. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Gig speeds available via hotspots to Xfinity Mobile customers only. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Actual internet speeds and data thresholds may vary.
Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. With rising interest rates and banks and credit unions continuing to tighten, the demand for our private portfolio loans has never been stronger. Therefore, for a limited time only, Legacy's Opportunity Fund is paying 7% interest on short-term cash with just a 90-day commitment and a 30-day notice to withdraw. It's the perfect place to park your short-term cash. And at 7%, I would challenge you to find a better short-term opportunity in the marketplace today. Don't let your short-term cash sit in a savings or money market account when you can get 7% with Legacy's Opportunity Fund and join the over 800 local investors with over $200 million invested.
Act now to receive Legacy's Opportunity Fund one-time offer of 7% on short-term cash. Visit Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. That's legacyg.com. Legacy Family of Funds investments are available to accredited investors only. 7% APR is current rate for the Legacy Group Capital Opportunity Fund. Terms and conditions at legacyg.com.
'Tis the season to be bold.
Gino's going to throw right down the seam. Touchdown, Seahawks! JSN with the touchdown.
To rep your team.
The stands are rocking right now.
Your style, your way. This is the Pro Shop. Shop official Seahawks gear now at Seahawks.com/Pro Shop.
Okay, antibodies, huddle up. We're a great team, but the flu is dominating. The good news is the human we're protecting just got his flu shots. That means all of us antibodies have strong new gear that will help us fight and defend against the flu. We must win so that our human can stay healthy and help protect the people he cares about most.
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect yourself and others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
This is Sports Center.
Happy Thanksgiving. I'm Chris Smith. Jared Goff has tossed 2 deep passes to Sam Laporta, while Jake Bates has booted 3 field goals. The Lions lead the Bears 23-7 early in the 4th. Keenan Allen caught the lone TD for Chicago from Caleb Williams. Coming up in Arlington, the Cowboys host the Giants, who are expected to be without quarterback Tommy DeVito due to his forearm injury. Drew Lock expected to start, sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter and Jordan Rannon. And Jordan says this puts head coach Brian Daboll in a really tough spot.
He's kind of in a no-win situation, because if he plays well, it's like, why'd you skip him over, right?
Yeah.
And if he plays poorly, it's like, why'd you guys sign him in the first place, right? Because you gave him $5 million. You gave him $5 million guaranteed, and then you just skipped him over anyway, and you realized he wasn't that good. They really can't win here, but here's the bottom line. Brian Daboll's got to win some games. He knows that. And so if he plays well, we're going to keep seeing Drew Lock. He doesn't care what the perception is.
Heard on ESPN Radio's Greeny. Lock spent the first 10 weeks as the backup to former starter Daniel Jones, with DeVito as the third stringer. Meanwhile, the Chiefs have activated running back Isaiah Pacheco off the IR and defensive end Charles Aminu off the PUP list in time for them to play in Friday's game against the Raiders.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty. Happy Thanksgiving. Coming up Friday, Lamar versus Saquon. I'll tell you why the MVP trophy might be on the line this weekend. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPN News.
This is the best of Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio. Happy Thanksgiving.
Greg, sign off on this Monday on Freddie and Harry.
Definitely frustrated, Cowboys. I got a box, and I started folding all my shirts, Dallas Cowboy gear, everything that I have, Dallas Cowboy, I started putting in boxes. And my wife was like, wow, look at this guy. You left one jersey out. Is there a reason for that? And I said, yes. I said, because on Halloween, when we go trick-or-treating, I'm going to dress up, and I'm going to use that jersey. And she's like, okay, well, that doesn't make sense. I said, I'm going to go dress as a loser, because that's what my team is.
Wow. Greg, my brother, please hang in there.
This is Freddie and Harry.
With my man Harry Douglas, I'm Freddie Coleman, and welcome to the best show on your radio. You know it better as Freddie and Harry, the Afternoon Hustle presented by Progressive Insurance on the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80. Don't forget about us on TuneIn. Don't forget to tell your smart speaker to play ESPN Radio. Real quick, according to Shams Charania, ESPN NBA insider, the Philadelphia 76ers have been fined $100,000, mainly because they basically told the NBA that they did not give their right health status regarding Joel Embiid, their center. They have fined them $100,000 for those public statements around the health status of all NBA center Joel Embiid. Or as I like to say, Harry Douglas, from the slap on the wrist department involving the NBA to the Philadelphia 76ers.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to fine them more money, and there's probably not going to be a number that's going to make any of us happy. But if you're going to fine them $1 million. $100,000? Peanuts.
Yeah, don't take care of my pocket money, Akeem.
Find him $1 million.
Yeah, make it hurt. And say, you guys going to try to pull that kind of fast one. When Joel Embiid is ready to come back, he's got to sit out another 3 games and not get paid. That's what I would do if I was the NBA. But $100,000, that is a fine for the Philadelphia 76ers making statements around the stats, of the All-NBA center Joel Embiid. The NBA final day, $100,000. So that's the sound that a lot of people did not want to hear when it came to the 76ers being fined. What other sounds are out there in the world of sports?
Who's in?
Are they in?
And who's out?
Where are they? Out.
It's time to find out from the Freddie and Harry Selection Committee.
So even though Shannon Penn, one of our known producers, is not here, James Steele is going to be in his stead along with Devin Kane, Harry Douglas, Freddie Coleman, the 4 horsemen getting together with the best sounds in sports. Be afraid. Be very afraid, depending on what you're going to hear in the next 15 to 20 minutes. So, as a matter of fact, let's just get it going.
Number 1.
All right, Harry Douglas, in your opinion, what is the best sound in sport?
I'm going to go with a home run off the end of a wooden bat, or if we're talking about College World Series or college baseball, the aluminum bat.
Okay.
That sound, especially like if a game is on the line, Freddie Freeman, bases loaded in the 10th inning versus the Yankees, and next thing you know, you hear this, and it's a grand slam, and the Dodgers win it. I love that sound, the end of the bat with that baseball connecting, going over the fence.
Okay. For me, it's the sound of the basketball going through a net. When you hear that swish and it doesn't hit the rim. That kind of thing.
That's sweet.
It just makes you feel warm all over.
It does.
It's like a nice cup of coffee, a nice slice of sweet potato pie. Every time you hear that, it doesn't matter if it's Steph Curry, it could be Devin Booker. You're going to go back in the past, Jerry West, Larry Bird, Reggie Miller. Man, woo, I feel so good. For me, the swish of the ball going through a net is the sweetest sound in sports.
And I think the most important thing that you said right there,
sweet potato pie.
Is sweet potato pie. I know Freddie Coleman love his pie.
Absolutely.
You love your pie, Mr. Freddie Coleman.
Not pumpkin, sweet potato pie. Let me get that pumpkin stuff. I don't want the gourd. I want the other gourd when it comes to sweet potato. Now it comes to pumpkin. James Steele, what is the sweetest sound in sports? This ought to be good. When you start laughing before you give your answer, I know this is going to be good.
I can't think of which one that's more hilarious to me. So I'm a big professional wrestling fan.
All right.
The crowd whenever a wrestler you're not expecting returns. Here's a little example.
All right. The Undertaker.
Yeah, that was Undertaker at WrestleMania this past year. No one knew he was going to be there, but that gong hits, the lights go out, and the people go crazy.
Okay.
So
that's actually a good one.
That's a really good one.
I just got chills.
So did I. Devin King, what about you? So we got the ball going through the net for me. We got the crowd going crazy when an unexpected athlete or wrestler shows up. And Harry Douglas with the crack of the bat, the ball going over the fence when it comes to a sweet sound of sport. Devin, what about you?
Listen, I wish I had another one to make this 4 different ones, but I'm looking at my list right now. It's crack of the bat. I'm with Harry.
Really?
It's the crack of the bat, man.
Okay.
It's the most classic sound in sports. Baseball's been around forever, and that sound has persisted throughout the entirety of the sport. It's perfect.
All right.
And then I think also, like, when one of these players hits home runs, especially if they're the home team, and they hear that crowd, it forces them to bat flip as well. And we know the opposing team hate when opponent bat flips.
Well, in the words of my dad, Freddie Coleman Jr., get over it. If you don't want to have a guy do a bat flip, don't throw the ball in the middle of the plate.
I like that logic.
Try that.
A lot.
When people would trash talk us in the basketball court and they were kicking out behind us, I hate when they trash talk. You know how you stop it? Yeah, make sure they don't score. If you don't make sure they don't score, they can keep being mouth almighty, tongue everlasting. I was good with that as far as that goes. So we got the crack of the bat, hitting a baseball. That's the sweetest sound, number 1. So we move on to
number 2.
All right, Devin Kane, where you landing on this one?
All right, so we're lucky enough to have one of the best announcers, not only in basketball, but in all of sports at ESPN.
Okay.
And you know this call is good because he doesn't bring it out often, right? And he only waits for the biggest of the biggest moments.
I like where you're going.
It's the Mike Breen double bang.
There we go. Okay.
When you hear that, you know something major just happened.
Okay. I don't mind that one at all. So we got Mike Breen on the table. All right, James Steele, what about you? Where are you going with the sweetest town in sports?
This one's going to make a lot of people mad. I've heard this a lot in the past 6 years, but
okay.
The Kansas City Chiefs, champions.
Wow. Well done.
You're using this segment to troll.
Well played.
Major flex. Okay,
well
Steele.
played,
The
James.
Kansas City Chiefs, champions.
Well played. So when the local announcer says his team are champions, well played by you.
The Kansas City Chiefs,
We get the specifics.
champions.
We get it with Mitch Holtis on the call. Kansas City when it comes in. All right, Harry Douglas, what about you? Sweetest sound in sport as well.
So I agree with Brother Dev. That Mike Breen, bang! Curry for 3, bang!
By the way, I think this double bang was when Dante DiVincenzo hit that shot against the Sixers to put them up.
Yep.
So that's
Yep. Yeah, I can't disagree. I got to go along with that. Mike Breen, when he does that, whether it's a single bang or a double bang, he never fails to deliver as far as that goes. So, yeah, I'm with you guys. That's number 2. So let's move on to
Number 3.
All right, Harry Douglas started off. What's the sweetest sound in sport to you?
All right, I'm going to stay on the hardwood with this one. This team, in particular, the Cleveland Cavaliers, were down 3-1 versus the Golden State Warriors. They were able to come back from that 3-1 deficit, and we heard LeBron James say this.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Iconic moment, especially for LeBron James in his career, being able to bring a championship to Cleveland for the first time. But, you know, there's times when I was on the Tennessee Titans and we'd be in the locker room like shooting hoops.
Yeah.
And I would nail one from deep and I would, Cleveland!
Cleveland, this is for you.
This is for you. So I think that's an iconic one.
Okay. I'm going back to the basketball.
Ooh.
The basketball going through the net. I'm going back to that one. Nothing against LeBron James over Cleveland. Thanks to David Stern for suspending Draymond Green for Game 5, but I digress. You know, I'm going to go back to that basketball going through the net. It could be a regular net or it could be a chain net. Either sound works out for me. So I'm going back to a basketball going through the hoop, going through the net. Devin King, what about you?
I'm with you. I was just going to say I'm going to go with that as well. And also, there's another subcategory of this. Only hoopers will know this. When it goes through the net, but it pings on the back of the rim ever so slightly.
Yeah.
That's the best sound, man.
When you hear that, man, and if it's a game-winning shot, too, it feels like you took away the soul of the defender that was guarding you. When he hears that ping, he goes, I'm just going to have to go home now. I'm just take off my sneakers and walk on home. James Steele, what about you?
A hockey goal horn.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's specifically the Penguins goal horn, but I mean, like you get that especially in the playoffs.
Just say hockey, James.
Nope.
Hey, let him have his
All right,
moment.
fine. No, I'm going to be really.
No, he had his
specific
moment with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Nope, I got lots of moments.
Exactly. Yes, he does. Basketball wins out 2-1 as far as that goes. We're doing the best sounds in sports by the selection committee with Freddie Coleman, Harry Douglas. That's him on Freddie and Harry with assistance from Devin Kane and James Steele on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. So we got the crack of the bat. That's number 1. The Mike Breen ESPN NBA play-by-play voice doing not just the bang call, but the double bang, bang when it comes to that. Bang! Bang! And the perfect switch in basketball. That is number 3. We move on to number 4.
Number 4.
James, I'm with you. The hockey horn. I'm going with that one.
I'm with him too.
Yeah, I'm going with that one. There's no doubt. You hear that? If you hear that and your team is winning and the crowd goes bananas, yeah, that's sweet. Devin Kane, what about you?
All right, I'm cool with that. I'm just going to offer up another hockey one right now.
Sure.
When the puck hits off the crossbar.
Ooh.
You hear that, and it's like, you know what happens. It's brutal, but it's just one of those sounds that you immediately know what it is.
That is a good
But
one.
I don't think it overthrows when
I don't
a
disagree.
goal is
Yeah,
being
I don't
scored.
disagree with that.
That's a good one, though.
That is a quite
It's
good
either
one.
good or bad.
Yeah. Well, it's great if you're the goalie. Because you got extra help. It's bad if you're a sniper and it hits off the and the worst part about, let's say that happens like an overtime game in a playoff game, and you know you're that close to ending it, and then it hits, and usually anytime that happens, they go the other way a lot of times, and they score the game winner goal. You're thinking, really? That's how I get defeated by an inanimate object? That took that away from me, but that hockey horn sound, yeah, that's number 4.
Number 5.
All right, brother Harry Douglas, what's number 5?
You know, I like watching tennis, and when these tennis players, they hit the ball back or they're serving, there's a sound that they make that lets me know, number 1, that they're locked in.
Okay.
But also that they're trying to really defeat their opponent. And it goes like this. Whether you're serving or returning the serve, That's the tennis noise.
I'll give you a good one like that, like Victoria Azarenka. Woo! 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 Well, that's Sharapova. And back in her day, that was Sharapova. All right, Harry Douglas with the grunt sounds when it comes to tennis. James Steele, what about you, the sweetest sound in sports? Try to top that, killer.
How do you follow that up?
How do you follow that, killer?
I'm just gonna go back to the bat crack. The bat crack is a good one. I don't know what else to do right now.
Okay. Devin Kane, what about you?
All right, how about the golf ball when it enters the cup just so perfectly?
Yeah, when you hear that.
And that's relatable, too, because you don't even need to play golf. It's putt-putt. Everyone knows that sound is.
Yeah, miniature golf. Yeah, Devin, I'm rocking with you on that
okay.
one. I'm rocking with you on that one. The golf ball into the cup. Yeah.
Okay, well.
Okay, go ahead.
Defend
Defend yourself, counselor.
Yeah, I don't think that's something people get excited about.
Shoot,
what do you mean?
Are you kidding me? Hearing that at the Masters or the U.S. Open?
Well, at the Masters, you don't hear it. I think you see it go in, right?
Do people get excited over the tennis grunts?
Depends on who you are.
Exactly.
And what you're bringing to the table.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not what the situation brings to you. It's what you bring to the situation.
James, you like the tennis one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's 2-2.
So it's 2-2. It's essentially 2-2. So poor Christine Lisi, our sports anchor goddess, she has to be the tiebreaker when it comes to this. So, Christine, here are the choices. The tennis grunts, James Steele and Harry Douglas are on that side. When it comes to me and Devin Kane, we're on the golf ball rolling into the cup on that side.
Real quick, Harry, can you just do it one more time? So we got, all right.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
God. Poor Christine.
Either when you're serving or returning the serve on the tennis court.
I got it.
Yes. Okay. What you got, Christine? What do you have?
Just because I love hearing Harry make that noise.
Great. I know,
Yes.
I know where
That's
we're
gotta
going.
be in a promo.
I know where we're going.
Yes.
I know where we're going with that one.
Yes.
It is tennis grunts at number 5. I warn people not to bring their kids. You could not say you weren't warned by us.
I'm really looking forward to Casey putting this on a graphic somehow when we do our Slush Top 6.
Poor Casey. She's thinking, I didn't realize what I got myself into with this show. So that's number 5 on our list in terms of sweetest sounds in sports. Grunting in tennis, male, female, young, old, does not matter. Last but not least,
number 6.
I'll go on the first one with this one. Any baseball call that ends a game. One of my favorite calls of all time, Jack Buck. Game 6 of the World Series. Minnesota Twins and the Atlanta Braves. Kirby Puckett at the plate. He hits the ball, and Jack Buck goes, there's a fly ball to left field to the track, and we'll see you tomorrow. And he laid out. The crowd goes nuts. It's one of the best calls ever. When you have a great call to end a game, I don't care if it's baseball, basketball, football. That's one of the sweetest sounds in sports.
Can I ask you a question?
Why are you going to ask me this question?
Why is it that particular call?
That's my favorite call ever, is that one with Jack Buck, Joe Buck's dad. That is my favorite. Has nothing to do with the Braves and the Twins. It could have been anybody. It could have happened against my team in that situation. But we got a great tweet at Coleman ESPN and also at HDUS83. Andrew Barker says, Keith Jackson, when he introduced the Rose Bowl, there was nothing better. When USC played
the granddaddy of them all.
Absolutely. You get stuff like that. Dick Enberg, God rest his soul. Oh, my! You know, anytime a great announcer call, but one that ends a game or a game-ending call, that's one of my sweetest sounds.
Whoa, Nelly.
There you go, like Keith Jackson. What's yours, Harry Douglas?
For me, I'm going to go with the trumpet to start off the Kentucky Derby. That sounds like this.
Oh, I like that. Okay. You know, I'm switching my vote. I'm going with that one. I'm going with that one. That's a good one. You know what that means? Yeah.
That means if you're in line to go get a drink, get out of line from going to get the drink. Drink whatever's on your table. If you got your hand on a lamb chop, drop the lamb chop. It's time for the race to get started.
I love that. Especially when they finish singing My Old Kentucky Home. They got the mint juleps. They got the hats and everything. And you got the trumpet player. Yeah, you slid me on that one. I'm with you on that one. Devin King, what about you?
All right, how about, I'm not a big NASCAR or race fan.
Okay.
But when they start the engines of that race.
The Indy 500, gentlemen, start your engine.
You hear that, you know it's about to get going. We're about to get ready.
That's sweet. And I've been in a race where they've done that. I was race side when they had the Coca-Cola 600, and when they used to do like the NASCAR integration, when the ESPN had a NASCAR contract, and a bunch of us would be sent down there where he worked behind the scenes. Sports Center anchors went down there. I went down there with Jay Harris and people like that, and we were trackside. And just hearing them say that gentleman and lady, because Danica Patrick was a part of that, was part of her team, helping her out, start your engines. I said, I can't even imagine what that sounds like, the Indianapolis 500. It gave me chills at the Coca-Cola 600 when that happened in Charlotte, North Carolina, with Concord, North Carolina. So that's a good one, Devin. All right, James, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Devin, the race car rev. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we have another tie.
Yes, we do. So, Christine Lisi, your choices are for the final one of the Sweet Sounds of Sports.
So
you got
can I say this?
No, you can't. No, you can't.
So here's what's so unique. I can really picture Miss Christine Lisi drinking her mint julep, being at the Kentucky Derby with me, having the greatest time ever. You know, I just.
You know what I know where Christine's from. She's from Western New York.
Yes, she is.
They like to race up there. They're not worried about horse races, Kentucky Derby. She wants to be down dirty with the racing.
Okay.
Miss Christine Lisi, you can put on your best outfit.
You know Devin's got a rebuttal.
Eat lamb chops and all kind of stuff.
Okay. Devin, you got one last rebuttal?
No, you put the jeans and the boots on, you hit the mud. Let's get racing.
All right, so, Christy, your choices are Harry Douglas and I on the side of the trumpet, the kickoff, the horse race, of the fastest 2 minutes in sports, the Kentucky Derby. Devin Kane and James Steele, they're on the side of when you hear that gentleman start your engines and then all the cars start up. So where are you siding?
Well, they're both awesome, but I got to go with the Derby horn.
There we go.
I'm crushed.
But it was close. But it was definitely close. So those are our sweetest sounds in sports.
Can I tell Miss Christine Lisi something really quick?
The vote's already been taken. Why are you going to add on to it?
Well, Miss Christine,
why are you
listen,
giving a victory speech?
This weekend, I have the luxury of going up to Buffalo with those wonderful people. Me and Steve Levy, we're going to be on the call for the Bills versus the Dolphins in Buffalo.
Nice.
And I will have you in mind as well.
Thank you, my love.
Wow.
Thank you.
Man, talk about a rigged election when it comes to that. Wow. So our selection committee, courtesy of definitely our sports and anchor goddess, Miss Christine Lisi, being the tiebreaker, along with Devin Kane, James Steele, Harry Douglas, and me, Freddie Coleman. Our top 6 sounds in sports. We had number 1, the crack of the bat. Number 2, Mike Breen, the double bang call last year in the NBA playoffs involving my New York Knicks. Bang! Bang! Number 3, the perfect switch in basketball, no matter what the net is. Number 4, the horn going off in hockey when a goal is scored. Number 5, tennis grunts, according to Harry Douglas. I think he's going to need a cigarette after that. And number 6, the Kentucky Derby horn, the trumpet.
This is the best of Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio. Happy Thanksgiving.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
This is Seattle Sports.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew Allshouse of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
So here's the deal with Mariners season ticket memberships. You've got two great options. With a Flex membership, you have the freedom to pick your seats, games, and number of tickets whenever you want. Or if you like knowing where you're sitting all season long, go with a reserved membership and lock in your seats from day one. Both plans get you access to exclusive pre-sales, year-round discounts, special event invites, and more. Check it out at Mariners.com/25.
Now Raleigh wins it in the 10th inning for the Mariners.
What would motivate you to encourage your kid to work with me at Lee Johnson?
I still revert back to, if I work at a location and I'm willing to have my son work at this location, that should tell you a great deal. I didn't steer my son away, I steered my son to it. Because of the opportunities that are in front, and when you see it across multiple rooftops in multiple locations, it says a lot that you're willing to entrust your family member, your blood, sweat, and tears. You're willing to say, hey, this is a great place for them to be and work. If you take care of people, they take care of customers.
Sharing a good thing with family and friends comes easy at the Lee Johnson Auto family. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Roof now, pay later. Hi, I'm Sam Thomason, owner of State Roofing. Take advantage of our 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to a year. We've partnered with leading lenders to make the replacement or repair of your roof affordable. Flexible financing options are available to take the worry out of an unexpected expense. Call us today at 866-ROOF-ROOF to schedule a free no-obligation estimate or visit us at stateroofing.com. That's stateroofing.com.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ask about Wi-Fi backup for your business or get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract, plus for a limited time. Ask about an $800 holiday bonus prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to ComcastBusiness.com today. Ins 12/15/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Tune in this Sunday as your Seattle Seahawks take on New York. Kickoff at 10 a.m. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, proud sponsor of the Seattle Seahawks and the Northwest's biggest and best casino.
This is SportsCenter.
At 10-1 this season, the Lions are tied for their best record through 11 games in franchise history. I'm Chris Smith, and they're well on their way to breaking that tie as the Lions lead the Bears 23-13 in the fourth. Jared Goff, 2 TD passes, both to Sam Laporta, while Keenan Allen has caught 2 TD passes from Caleb Williams for Chicago. Later, the Packers host the Dolphins, but Miami struggles in cold weather, including the playoffs. The Dolphins have lost 11 straight games in sub-40 temperatures at kickoff. And ESPN host Chris Canty says that won't be the only factor.
Yeah, the cold weather thing is real. A cold player is not a fast player. And then beyond that, I just think the physicality of the Green Bay Packers slows down that speedy offense from the Miami Dolphins. We got to remember, this Packers defense is opportunistic. They create a lot of negative plays. They create a lot of turnovers. The team is second when it comes to points off of turnover margin.
Heard on ESPN Radio's on Sportsmanlike. The Packers have won 3 straight against the Finns. And Steelers offensive coordinator Arthur Smith said that he had conversations with North Carolina about their head coaching vacancy following the dismissal of Mac Brown. But Smith also emphasized that he's happy in Pittsburgh.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty. Coming up Thursday, I'll tell you which division race will end up being the closest and who will win it. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
This is the best of Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio. Happy Thanksgiving.
Atlanta 1 for 5 on third down. They're going for it on 4th and 2.
Boy, all up here.
Yep. Empty set for Cousins. Cowboys showing pressure. Snap to Kirk. Here they come. Got to get rid of it. Lob for Mooney. Caught. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Atlanta. 4th and 1 is the home run ball for Darnell Mooney.
The great Wes Durham on the calls, the Falcons play-by-play voice of 92.9 The Game in Atlanta. And I'm just going to step aside because this is Harry Douglas's team. He's been gloating ever since they took down my Cowboys the way that they did on Sunday. And the Falcons in first place in the NFC South. So, Harry Douglas, this is your team. This is your coach. You bring in our next guest here on Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the luxury of having a fantastic coach. First year for the Atlanta Falcons as the head coach. We're not talking about the interim tag that he had when he was previously with the organization. But what he has done so far this season has been remarkable. The one and only Raheem Morris, head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, now join us on Freddie and Harry. Coach, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man, especially after that intro. And to see the crying Cowboy fan go away and to get it from Harry was absolutely outstanding.
See, that's why me and Rob, we on one accord. We already know how to do this thing. Coach,
I'll just be outside. I'll leave you two to your own devices. You let me know when you're finished, and then I'll step back into the show.
Bro, I got to ask you, man. Right now you're sitting at 6-3, first place in the NFC South. What has impressed you the most about this football team that you're coaching and you're leading?
Harry, to be honest, it was kind of what we talked about very early in this process about the amount of maturity and the guys that we had on the football team when I got here. And we talked about adding a couple of guys to it, namely quarterback, the position of quarterback, and being able to go out and get those guys. But the Jesse Bates, the A.J. Terrells, the Grady Jarretts, and some of those guys that from the veterans, Jake Matthews, some of the guys that were already here and that were put in position to lead this team and to know what they want, and to be able to go out there and absolutely apply it every single day, whether it be practice or whether it be the games or whether it be stuff that you see every single day. I couldn't be happier or more proud of the things that they've been able to accomplish both on and off the field.
You've won 5 games in the last 6 weeks, Coach Morris, and your quarterback, Kirk Cousins, said about you, and I quote, in terms of the culture shift, I think it starts with Raheem Morris as our head coach, setting the tone each week. Play with great effort, and from there, it kind of trickles down to our captains and our locker room, end quote. When you hear that about you, from your quarterback, Coach Morris, what do you think?
I really think it's just a credit to the character that he possesses. Like he is the sounding board for me, just like I'm the sounding board for him when we're talking about offensive football. And then on defense and vice versa with the leadership over there, those guys are the sounding board for me as I'm the sounding board for those guys. So I think it just resonates around our building, and I think it speaks to loudly about the people in Atlanta and the people for Atlanta. And Harry knows this best. It was like, so fortunate to be able to coach on offense and defense in this building, and then able to be able to help now more on special teams, to be a part of the whole thing, to be able to see the big picture on everything that we're trying to do and how much we want to get better with the growth mindset that we're taking to this thing every single week. I think it's the best thing that we all have for each other.
Coach, I think one of the things when it comes to, number one, coaching or playing quarterback in Atlanta, you have to understand the culture. And that's something that cannot be minimized. And when it comes to a guy like Kirk Cousins, right, who wears his plaid shirts and wears his khakis, but understands what it means to be a quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons and also understands the culture part of it. When you see him swagging, surfing, when you see him telling people walk in your trap and take over your trap, speak about that part of the game that Kirk Cousins has evolved, understanding the culture and where he is, talking about the city of Atlanta.
You know him as the Adidas and the Coles Kirk Cousins on Monday. And then I was kind of talking about this earlier, but then on Wednesday, today, he morphs into Scully wearing Kirk, and he's able to come out there and he's able to gather the information and really be angry. Then Thursday, you see the confident Kirk come out, and then Friday, the angry Kirk, and a Friday for execution. And then Saturday, he kind of morphs into this dude that we call Chains on Sunday. And when he does all those things, that's just like embracing our culture, how we want to go about our business, how much fun we want to have, how he embraces the guys around him, how he embraces this community, how he embraces everything about the community, from the swag surf to the traps to everything about it, to like what people tell him in the streets. He's able to bring it to our locker room, what he's gotten from his players, what he's gotten from his group, what he's gotten from his guys, and he embraces it. All at the same time with the ability to be himself and deliver messages in just a special way. And like, that is all encompassing. And you've seen it happen live with Matt Ryan, but now we're watching it with Chains, and hopefully this thing ends up half the success that you guys had back in the day.
I would have given anything to see Matt Ryan wear a Scully, but that's just my fantasy more than anything else. Raheem Morris, the Atlanta Falcons head coach, joining us here on Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio with Harry Douglas. I'm Freddie Coleman. You're in an area where there's good football everywhere. You got Georgia and Georgia Tech. You got high school football, but now you got your Falcons 6-3. What has it been like having that kind of success in your first year in that football-heavy city that the Falcons are still trying to make inroads when it comes to the fan base and the culture of that city of Atlanta?
You know, I noticed the shift just from being here the first time, whether it was from an assistant standpoint when we went in 16 and was able to put up some really special numbers, do some special things, and to watch the old Georgia Dome, how that thing went in the playoffs. And then coming back now and being able to see the Dirty Bird section, to be able to see some of the things that have changed already and the energy that's in that building, it's been a little more electric than I remember. And I'm really pleased on where we're going. And then it's our job to go out there and just create the energy by winning and be an exciting football team, being somebody who wants to watch, being people that they can support within the community and get behind, and being that just example every single day for this city and Arthur Blank and everything that we're about. So, like, this city's, in my opinion, is sitting at that point where it can morph into something really special, and you can see some special things for years to come.
We're talking to Raheem Morris, Atlanta Falcons head coach. And for every great coach, right, you have to have the ability to self-reflect, self-scout your own football team. As you enter the second half of the season, Coach, what are some areas you would like to improve so you can get on even a more of a heater, I would say?
You know, like, you started to see what we're capable of last week when you're able to put together really a whole game, right? We want to be able to mitigate some of the things that are already tearing us apart, whether it be the early holdings or whether it be an offsides that makes your offense have to overcome the down and distance of the 1st and 20s and the second and get back on track longs or whatever the case may be. We want to be able to do that on offense. And then at the end of the game on offense, we want to be able to finish people off, being able to run the ball more efficiently in those 4-minute situations, to get out of stadiums better, to get out of stadiums faster, to be able to really practice finishing people off before you get to those moments where it's really required and is really needed. And that's what's needed right now. On defense, you've already seen those guys kind of morph just over the last couple of weeks on not just getting to the passer, but having the ability to pass rush and cause disruption on the quarterback and to really provide things to get our quarterback back the ball and to be able to get the ball back, right? So being able to force your will on the opponent on the quarterback and being able to get the ball back for our guys and let them go out there and make plays, because realistically, our special teams has kind of been leading the way with making plays. And every game that they've gone out and made a play in, whether it be recovering for a touchdown in the end zone or blocking a punt or a muff punt, or being able to end the game with the confidence and the swagger that he's able to do that with, whether it be overtime or end of the game right at like we did against New Orleans the first time. I think those are the things you want your team to develop into, that killer instinct. And I think that's what's got to happen over the course of the season.
Coach, when y'all signed Darnell Mooney this offseason, I immediately said that was going to be a huge free agent signing. Speak about his whole persona. Why has he been so good for the football team and for his quarterback Kirk Cousins this season?
Well, it's because of you and the legacy that you left behind here. You know, you, Roddy, Julio, and, you know, at the time to see Red and Taylor Gabriel and some of those guys be able to take over, Justin Hardy, right? Guys finding these roles that they're able to go out there and play. And you started the role that Justin Hardy kind of picked up on. Man, this nasty inside player that will go out there and absolutely dump you at all times, but be able to move the chains on third down. And like Mooney had the role of, whether it's the fast guy, the Gabriel, the Ridley, explosive, make plays down the field, be able to separate versus man-to-man. And there's not too many Julios, but when you talk about big play, you talk about Roddy, you want to talk about guys like Drake London, what they're able to go out there and do and play with that toughness that's built in that room that you guys started, that continues to carry on because you allowed me to go in there and see what it's like in that receiver room for a glimpse of it all. And then to carry that thing over to these guys and have their coach, Ike Hilliard, know what it's about from playing in this league and being able to play in that position where it requires a lot of confidence, a lot of stuff, a lot of toughness that people don't know about, and a lot of things that's just grit and carry over from what you guys started. And, like, for us, it was part of the reason going to get a guy like Mooney, being able to add a guy like Ray, being able to find the ways to implement Drake into doing what he's doing, to be able to put those guys in that room. When you talk about some of the backups, when you talk about Red, like, I'm fired about this group because they are wanting to emulate and do the things that you guys did in the past.
You use a great term when it comes to fired up, because you know how Harry Douglas can get fired up, especially when it comes to the Dirty Birds, the Atlanta Falcons, talking to you. He has posted video after video going,
damn right,
with the bird call all around. How much of that does your team see when one of your own from the past is representing your team like that of the current time?
You know, I don't get a chance to see much of it, but I know our guys do, right? You know, when you're in the office and you're in the lab, usually he's doing the bird call on that Monday or Tuesday, and we're locked in the next opponent, and that allows him to go out there and spread it to our fans and that excitement and that juice and that energy, and he brings that kind of thing that you love to come out, because then all your friends call you talking about what Harry said and how Harry's going excited, whether he's on an airplane or whether he's at his home office or whether he's in travel to his next job. It doesn't matter. I was just glad to see my guy didn't get kicked off the plane from that TSA officer.
Me too.
And I didn't have to be a character witness for him.
Coach, man, y'all are doing a tremendous job. You, all the coaching staff, everyone within that organization, the players, y'all continue to do y'all part, Coach. Don't worry. I'm going to handle it on this end, and I'm going to let the whole world know. Trust me. Don't you worry about that at all.
I know that, man. We had Roddy at practice a couple weeks ago, and when you guys come around, man, it means the world. And when you guys are talking about us and being proud of us, that means the world. We're able to represent, you know, all of the old Falcons, all the people that wanted to do it, and we want to go out there and be able to do it for you.
I'll tell you what, Raheem Moore's doing a fantastic job in year one as the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. They take on the New Orleans Saints, the hated rival, at 1 o'clock Eastern time this Sunday on Fox.
No. Hold on, Freddie. We got to send this out the right way. Hey, Coach, appreciate your time. Bird call! Appreciate you, Coach.
This is the best of Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio. Happy Thanksgiving.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as 1 day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
This is Seattle Sports.
November is a great time to get a new TV. Now that the top-rated brands like Samsung, LG, and Sony are at the lowest prices of the year. With Black Friday deals available, what more could you want? How about better than Black Friday? Before you click, you should call Video Only to see how you can go lower than Black Friday. That's right, the best TVs at better prices. Check out Video Only before you buy, or you'll be sorry.
Is chronic pain beginning to make your everyday life a challenge? Then call Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, with Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. With over 30 years of experience, no one has more experience in pain medicine techniques and stem cell therapy than Dr. Nelson. And here's what a satisfied patient had to say.
I was experiencing severe neck pain, kind of radiating from my shoulders up into my head. And it was pretty severe, and it lasted for about a year. So I went to see Dr. Nelson, and after I got the stem cell treatment, I had positive results within a week, and it just got better from there. And to this day, I can't believe I used to be in such pain. He was just an incredible doctor. Everything about the place is just fantastic.
So don't let pain control your life. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD. Call 425-823-4000 today. That's 425-823-4000 or go to danielnelsonmd.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up. You can go farther and save on full synthetic with our oil change special. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for just $33.99. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Black Friday sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. And Cyber Monday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough. But if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
If I could be you.
And you could be me?
For just 1 hour.
If you could find a way.
To get inside.
Each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We are Seattle Sports. 7:10 a.m. on your radio. Streaming through the Seattle Sports app. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
This is the best of Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio. Happy Thanksgiving.
It's the Wednesday Groove-a-thon known as Freddie and Harry with Harry Douglas. I am Freddie Coleman. We're here on SiriusXM Channel 80. Don't forget about us on TuneIn. And don't forget to tell your smart speaker to play ESPN Radio. We never get tired of chatting, especially chatting with you. But sometimes we move aside from that chat and let you take over like this.
This is your safe space. Your sports therapy. Your chance to get it off your chest. Safe Space with Freddie and Harry.
888 say ESPN 888-729-3776. Sometimes you just need time for yourself, but they have everybody hear about it, and nobody can get in the way. No interruptions can stop you from being part of the safe space at 888-729-3776. One of our favorites is Easy E. Eric in New York. E. Dizzle, what do you have for the safe space?
Freddie and Harry, good evening, brothers. How y'all doing?
We're good, my brother. How are you?
I'm doing good. And Devin, just let me say this to Devin first. Devin, next time Harry acts up, just call Miss Beverly. She'll take care of it.
That's right. That's right. True.
My safe space is, it's been a recurring thing, but how bad can the Giants be? And it really comes down to Donnie I can't even say his name, Danny Dimes. It's time to sit the guy down. It's just eat the money. It was a mistake. You should have never paid him. And we just need to move on. And hey, hopefully we can get Shakur Sanders in the draft. But it's got to be over with number 8. Number 8 just ain't getting it done. And, he's killing us.
He sounds exactly like Devin Kane and Shannon Penn, our producers.
And rightfully so.
Defeated. He really does.
I'm not. Why are we laughing?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
this is crazy,
Freddie,
man. No, this is crazy. This is safe space.
You just put me in that position, Freddie.
What do you mean?
You know
how
you put me in the position to laugh, and this is safe space.
How did I do that? Explain to me.
You said he sounds like Shannon and Devin.
That's all I said.
And then you said defeated.
Yeah, well, as a Cowboys and Jets fan this year, I know the feeling.
Yeah, Harry.
So how did I put you in that position to laugh?
Because I didn't want to laugh.
Really? I'm sorry. Who are you?
After safe space, I wanted to laugh, but not during.
Okay. All right. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Easy-E, I'm sorry. Devin Kane earlier, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very important thing that we do here, safe space.
Absolutely.
And we got to make sure we honor everyone that bring us their safe space.
And that's what we'll continue to do with Sean in Big Sky Country in Montana. Sean, what do you have for the safe space?
What's up, y'all? Love your show. I listen Monday through Thursday. I listen to the whole show every day, so I get Chad on Thursdays, too.
Nice.
But I wanted to talk about DeMarcus Cousins saying the NBA should implement a 2-minute fight rule like the NHL. I love that, man, and I think that all professional sports should implement the 2-minute fight rule. Bowlers, golfers, WNBA, everybody. Let them fight. Mike Tyson and what's his name going to fight at the Cowboys Stadium this weekend? It's the biggest event in the country. Let everybody scrap. Memphis Sean said it. You unsafe space today.
By the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fighting at Jerry's World this weekend at AT&T Stadium. Can you imagine they had like a 2-minute thing like that for bowling? Because I worked in enough bowling alleys. They didn't need 2 minutes. Sometimes all they needed was 1.
That's it.
To get their scrap on.
Well, sometimes, these guys don't even need 1 minute. They just need about 15 to 20 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you need 3 hits. 2 hits to the face and 1 hit to the floor.
That's it. Ain't nothing like Donkey Kong with somebody.
I haven't heard that term in so long.
I don't promote it, but it's nothing like it.
I have not heard that term in so long. Miss Noelle in Connecticut, young lady, what do you have for the safe space, sweetheart?
Hey, guys, I'm going to start with saying who day, and then, so, Freddie, you're a Cowboys fan, so you must be pretty devastated about Dak's injury, but how do you think the Cowboys are going to do without Dak? Do you think they're still them boys?
They're more boys than men, Noelle. They're more. I call them the talking boys now because that's all they're capable of doing is talking. And as devastated as that was, having Dak Prescott go out, they weren't going to win a lot of games, Harry Douglas, with him as a starting quarterback, as a healthy quarterback. This has been a lost team ever since they got destroyed, first by the Saints, then the Ravens. And I really think that game against the Lions just took everything out of them, even though they did not want to admit it.
We start this show off every day by, saying the main thing is the main thing. And that's one of the things I feel like when you look at the Dallas Cowboys as an organization that they don't do a great job of. Mm-hmm. They don't keep the main thing the main thing. They let everything else except for the main thing be at the forefront of what they do.
Yeah, the problem with their main thing is it starts and ends with their owner, Jerry Jones. And that main thing has not involved anything about winning a championship. So I guess I've gotten over being devastated by the Cowboys who have let me down so much. It just seems to be run of the mill when it comes to that organization until he decides to step aside and let somebody else make those kind of decisions. Because to me, he's incapable of making this team a better team or a championship team anytime soon or anytime later. Let's go down to Baton Rouge. That's the home of Justin in Louisiana. Justin, what you got for the safe space?
Man, Freddie, I'm going through it. We got our own governor taking shots at LSU. Talking about the only Tiger that showed up for the Alabama game was the one he shipped in from Florida. Then I wake up, my Saturday's ruined. I said, it's okay. At least I know my Saints are terrible, right? We'll keep losing. We'll get a good quarterback in the draft. I won't have to see Derek Carr throwing hospital balls to Chris Olave anymore. We can't even lose games right.
Sure wish I would have, though. Lord.
Even when Justin was helped, he didn't want to be helped when it came to the Saints.
I think I need a safe space.
And by the way, the tiger that they shipped in wasn't even a real tiger.
What do you mean?
It wasn't the real tiger like the represents LSU.
Oh, no.
It was a pseudo tiger.
Yeah.
They couldn't get, I mean, really? And then you take shots at the team for not showing up and you shipped in a fake tiger? That's what we're doing?
Well, hopefully, this week of practice for LSU, they're figuring out how to stop the quarterback run.
Well,
they've been allergic to that.
Allergic is not the word I would use, but I'll just keep it clean because this is a family program on Freddie and Harry and ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and Sirius XM Channel 80 Safe Space. We love when you be a part of it because it's about not one lick of judgment. It's all about you having a chance to express what's on your mind, what's in your heart, what's in your soul. At 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Malcolm, as we stay in Louisiana, in the city of New Orleans. Malcolm, what do you have for the Safe Space?
Man, I'm going to let y'all know I had a vasectomy a few days ago, and that don't hurt as bad as the Cowboy season. I'm sick of it. They're breaking my heart every year.
Malcolm, number one, I got to say it to you and say it to you like this. Welcome to the vasectomy club, my brother. It is a great place to be. It is a great thing to do. Shout out to my boy Malcolm. You get high praise from me.
I don't know what to say about that, so I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm glad you guys, that works medically for you guys. Fantastic. Whatever you can do to help out, no problem.
One clip, that's it.
That's going to be your slogan?
That's it.
one clip, one snip, that's it.
We got the best of both worlds at home. We got a beautiful daughter in Harrison, Milan Douglas. We have a wonderful and handsome son in Harry Douglas V. Woo!
Yeah. By that middle name, Milan, fantastic middle name. When you said that also middle name, that's a cool middle name.
That's my girl, too. She up here texting me right now on her mom's phone, trying to pretend like she's my wife, too.
She's allowed to text?
Hey, Daddy, that package that was supposed to come in today in your name, that's for Harrison, right? Trying to pretend like she's my wife.
Wow.
Like I don't know how my wife writes.
It's already started.
Yes.
Wow.
And then she put at the end, yes or no. My wife don't write me yes or no.
Wait, she put, hey, Daddy?
Yes.
Listen, I don't know what goes on in your house, but...
Just when I think I've heard everything. Once again, I'm mistaken once again.
Oh, man.
Let's go to Music City, home one of our favorites, Randy in Nashville. Randy, what do you have for the Safe Space?
Hey, guys. Again, I love your show, man. I just got to get something off my chest. It's, I'm 53 years old. I grew up outside of Boston, central Massachusetts, and a deprived sports fan. We've only had an abysmal 16 championships in my lifetime. It had been 5 years since we had a parade, and we used to have one every 3 years on average. So I just wanted to thank my Celtics because I was about to jump ship, man. I mean, I don't know how long I'm supposed to.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it, like that. Ask your phone, group chat, smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time, no waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
This is Seattle Sports.
Hey, are you looking to save on internet and mobile this holiday season? Well, good news. Xfinity is having a Black Friday sale. They have you covered with these great deals. Learn how to get your choice of a 5G phone on Xfinity. Plus, you can also get fast, reliable Xfinity internet with a line of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited for a great low price. So don't wait. Bring home a new 5G phone and get Wi-Fi speeds up to a gig on Xfinity Mobile. That's a big deal, or should I say a gig deal. Now through December 3rd, ask how to get your choice of free 5G phone with an unlimited plus line. Plus, get Xfinity Gigabit internet with free Wi-Fi equipment for only $25 a month for 12 months with no annual contract when you add unlimited mobile. Go to Xfinity.com/Black Friday sale to learn more. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires Xfinity Gateway. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Gig speeds available via hotspots to Xfinity Mobile customers only. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Actual internet speeds and data thresholds may vary.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up, then spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
This is Dr. Andrew Ellshouse of Revive Men's Health. If you're always feeling tired or moody, or your sleep is poor, you have low libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health Seattle at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
This is Sports Center.
Happy Turkey Day. I'm Chris Smith. It was a tight one at Ford Field. Caleb Williams tossed 3 TD passes in the second half, but the Bears can't convert late, falling to the Lions 23-20. Detroit improves to 11-1, the best through 12 games in franchise history. Coming up in Arlington, the Cowboys host the Giants, who have lost 6 straight, the team's longest losing streak since 2019. And ESPN's Jordan Rannon says the blame should fall on one man's shoulders.
This year's draft looks promising. Like Tyrone Tracy's a good player. Malik Neighbors looks like he's going to be a stud. Andrew Phillips, a third-round cornerback, looks good. But overall, the roster is just not good enough. Now, there's other things we could pick on. You know, Daniel Jones is an easy target. He wasn't good enough. Brian Dable hasn't done a very good job. They've made mistakes left and right. So there's plenty of blame to go around. But if you made me pick one, I have to start with the architect of the game, Joe Shane.
Heard on ESPN Radio's Greeny. Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito listed as inactive due to his forearm injury, and Drew Lock is expected to get the start. Meanwhile, the Chiefs have activated running back Isaiah Pacheco and defensive end Charles Omenihu in time for them to play in Friday's game against the Raiders.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty. Happy Thanksgiving coming up Friday. Lamar versus Saquon. I'll tell you why the MVP trophy might be on the line this weekend. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Hello, it is Greeny and the hashtag crew wishing you a very safe, healthy, happy Thanksgiving. We hope one and all are enjoying. And obviously one of the big controversies that we had this year, Hembo, as we approached this Thanksgiving holiday was the concept of the Friendsgiving, which you were forced to attend and I was vehemently opposed to.
Vehemently opposed to. And as it turns out, your daughter has friends and she hosted a Friendsgiving.
That's exactly right. This turned out to be one of the viral moments that we've had on this show of recent memory. And so in case you missed it, let's live through that one more time. As you enjoy your Thanksgiving turkey today and all of the trimmings we hope you are having with friends and family alike, it could have been a Friendsgiving, and if it had, it probably would have sounded a little something like this.
Earlier on Greeny.
All right, so there's something I just want you to know. And I'm treading on thin ice. Because when it comes to the Hembekitas family, you are, at best, Hembo, my third favorite member. My favorite member of your family clearly is Michelle. The other one, I don't really know very well. The third one, I've never met. Your wife, Lizzie, I've known longer than I've known you, and I like her way better than I like you, as does everyone who knows the two of you as a couple. So I'm worried that what I'm about to say is going to offend her directly because it was inspired by her Instagram story from yesterday. So I'm just going to say this and just let the chips fall where they may. If you have or attend a Friendsgiving, I don't want to be friends with you. I'm not going. I'm not interested in being invited. There's nothing on earth I'd rather do less than host one. And I think it is the dumbest concept I've ever heard in my entire life. Some things that we are doing now, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy who's out here complaining about how much better things used to be, but we have invented some stupid things in our culture, and this is one of them. The only worse thing than the Friendsgiving is the gender reveal. The gender reveal where some idiot goes out there and hits a golf ball and it either turns up blue or pink. Most of these things are staged anyway. Someone lets a balloon go and you pretend like you didn't mean it to, or you're hitting a piñata, or some other godforsaken way of your wife just telling you we're having a baby and it's a girl for the love of Christmas. Takes 4 seconds. The gender reveal is an abomination. Topped only by the Friendsgiving. It's not bad enough that once a year we have to get together with all of our extended family and eat dinner at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when all you want to do is watch a football game. Popping Xanax like you're Orville Redenbacher. You're so freaking stressed out because this cousin doesn't talk to that one and all the other stuff that's going on.
Yeah, it's an election year,
Thanksgiving, the most stress-induced holiday with the most overrated food imaginable. This dry turkey they've been cooking since a week ago Tuesday. Some gravy somebody brought. Cranberry sauce. Who the hell eats that? Cranberry. When did that become a food? It's just jelly. It should be served on a piece of toast with peanut butter. I don't know what we're doing here, people. There's no way in hell that the Pilgrims were eating cranberry sauce out of a freaking jar. Like... You take a peanut butter and cranberry sauce sandwich.
Sounds good.
But anyway, I've seen too many pictures on my Instagram in the last couple of days of Friendsgivings, and one of them was of you.
Yeah.
That had to be, please tell me that wasn't your idea.
Well, of course it was not my idea. It is, however, an annual tradition amongst Lizzie's college friends. We go every year.
You go to what exactly?
We go to Mary Caitlin's house.
What do you
Mary
do?
Caitlin. We do exactly what you just described. We eat a variety of largely dried foods that we've not eaten since the last Friendsgiving.
So you actually serve a Thanksgiving meal?
A Thanksgiving meal. We ate potatoes and stuffing and candied yams and all the things. All the things that you don't like eating once a year, we eat twice a year.
Right.
Do you say Happy Friendsgiving like you would say Happy Thanksgiving to people?
We do, and there were matching onesies for all the kids.
Okay. Only the kids?
Would it make it better or worse if I was wearing a matching
How many
onesie?
people, how many families, because you're now at that stage in life, which I do kind of miss, where all of your friends have little kids.
I look forward to missing that phase.
Okay, I get it. I felt that way then, too.
Right.
But anyway, let's not digress. Let's remain in Larry David territory. Let's not get emotional here in any way. How many sets of children were at? You have your 3.
Mm-hmm.
Mary Caitlin has how many?
She has 1.
1. How many other families were involved in this?
Probably about half a dozen other families that averaged 1.5 kids, I would say.
1.5 kids. So there are 6 families that come to a Friendsgiving?
At least. And there were some people that mercifully don't have children yet that also came. But for the most part, that was the
So
the
you're
collection.
telling me there were couples
Many.
that came to a Friendsgiving
Yeah, man.
without children that was being held by, where there were like a minimum of like 8 people under the age of 3?
8. Yes, at least 8. Yes, there was a bounce house, for example. Like, this was a largely child function. I mean, how was what, Cam? The bounce house. The bounce house itself. It was fun until I threw Michelle too hard, and Lizzie got mad at me for throwing her.
Oh, man.
Don't throw that one. Throw one of the others. Test it out. Michelle's the most important one.
The other one is the guinea pig.
Test out the other one, and if that toss seems okay, then throw in Michelle.
Help me meander these waters, though, because
there's no helping you.
So if
you're going to a Friendsgiving, you're in an area I've never been to in my entire life. My wife would sooner suggest to me, like she knows me well enough to know, she would sooner suggest, I don't even know what it would be. She would sooner suggest, like, Michael, during the Super Bowl, we're going to go in Chicago on that boat that gives you an architectural tour of the city. You go up and down the Chicago River, and we're going to look at these spectacular look at the Frank Lloyd Wright House in Chicago, and we're going to go on that while the Super Bowl is being played.
Oh, hey, the Rams are winning.
Suggest that. And then she would say, and you can follow the score on your phone.
Right.
Then saying, we're going to go to a Friendsgiving. We're going to go to someone's house over a weekend with a large number of toddlers, and we're going to sit there and eat Thanksgiving food. I can't fathom anything that sounds worse than that.
I think I can actually top it.
Go.
Because this year, Mary Caitlin is adding a secondary event, a Christmas sleepover. On the 21st, we're doing a Christmas sleepover.
Who's we?
What do you mean a sleepover?
The same Friendsgiving group.
You're all sleeping at Mary Caitlin's house?
Like a Christmas pajama powwow. I'm not kidding you. I bleep you not. This is happening.
Where are you sleeping?
Lord knows. I mean, probably on a sleeping bag on the floor in the kitchen.
What kind of houses do you have? She live in a mansion?
I'm not kidding. Like, this is going to be...
She has enough room to have like 30 people.
I'll be yearning for the days of Friendsgiving.
Let me ask you a question. Who's workshopping these ideas?
Workshopping's the wrong word.
Before they come out to the group. Like, how many women are there involved in this little group?
Half a dozen or so.
And these are all college friends?
These are all college friends.
And so where do they get together for a meeting, establish a quorum?
They need a think tank.
And then start throwing ideas around? And, like, are they literally getting to, like, the point of, like, how far can we push this?
Yeah.
Like, I think they're laughing at you privately.
Because I was shown, like, pajamas yesterday that I'm told I'm going to wear for this thing. Like, I'm not only going.
So now you will have matching onesies.
Now I'm going with matching pajamas.
Are they the ones that have the feet on them?
Yeah, but
you know what you should get? No, like the footy pajamas that you had when you were a kid. Like you had like.
Like in order to use the bathroom, the whole thing comes off?
Do they not make those anymore? No. Brandon, you know what I'm talking about.
They have like the rubber soles and stuff. Yeah.
They have their pants.
Oh, good. I'm glad they have traction.
That go all the way down, and they become socks too. They're like a matching.
Very functional.
Sock. Yeah. I mean, I had them when I was a baby. I don't remember.
Not when you were 34.
No. Well, no. My point is, I don't think my kids ever had them. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Got it.
The point is, you know what you should wear? The sleeping gown, like the men used to wear, like in the
collar and the buttons,
like a dress and a little sleeping hat.
So you're suggesting I should voluntarily go?
I think what you should do is you should make such a mockery of this that it can never be suggested again.
How can I pull that off?
That's the first way. Here's what you do. You arrive and you say, "Hi, everybody. I'm here for the Christmas sleepover. I just need everyone to know I sleep in the nude." So everyone needs to be prepared for that. But I'll be wherever it is we all are, jammed into this living room on blow-up air mattresses. I'll be sleeping in the nude.
I do sleep hot.
And when one of my children invariably wakes up in the middle of the night and must be tended to, I will be heading over to do that job naked, fully naked. That will be the end of the Christmas sleepover. In fact, if you could have found a way to work nudity into the Friendsgiving, you might have been able to kill two birds with one stone.
I just don't know if that's the hill I'm willing to die on.
Yeah, you also might have been put in handcuffs. I think the other thing...
You need to alienate yourself from this friend
And
group.
Going to jail is one way to do it.
That's a lot of kids.
Another thing we're not considering with the sleepover is how many kids are going to wake up in the middle of the night screaming. You're not going to sleep.
That's the thing. I don't think it's that practical. It's not that functional. Like, if we want to do a Christmas get-together of some kind, first of all, pick one or the other, Thanksgiving or Christmas. I just don't know how the sleeper thing's going to work.
Is this the first Christmas sleepover?
Yeah, it's the first one.
Okay, so it's not an annual event.
But all these kids are under 3.
Not yet. It's coming up.
What other holidays can we completely destroy by...
Well, they do Galentine's Day.
Yeah, but they do that. Like, you don't have to go to Galentine's Day,
you don't have to be involved.
do you?
No, I just have to watch my kids.
Oh, that's not bad.
I'll live with that. I've given you that. I've given you my big advice on what it's like when you have kids in the house, like little kids, and you want to watch a football game and you're by yourself. Here's what you must do. You must lock your liquor cabinet, and you must give the key to someone else and have them remove it. Because here's what's going to happen. It's going to be the middle of the second quarter. Josh Allen is just going to run for a first down. And on that baby monitor, you're going to hear, oink, just that little oink. And you know what's coming. And you're going to look over at the liquor cabinet. And you're going to think to yourself, how much damage could this really do? Like if I get a thimbleful of Johnny Walker Blue and put it in a bottle, I'm able to watch the entire rest of this game. Now, because you are a good, upstanding citizen and a normal person and a good father,
yeah,
you would never do that.
Of course
and
not.
No one, of course, ever should. Because you don't want your wife to come home and find Michelle and the other one sleeping one off.
That's the reason why you don't want to.
But what I will say is remove the temptation.
Got it.
Lock it, and have someone take the key out of the house.
So I actually turn the monitor off when I'm solo, which Lizzie does not know. So I don't even know.
You mean she didn't know until now? You just said this on the air?
Well, Lizzie doesn't listen to the show.
Well, what happens in the event of an emergency?
I mean, they'd be crying loudly enough and long enough for me to hear through.
Do you know that?
No. But I
have you ever heard them
that.
crying without a baby monitor?
No.
How big is your house?
A normal-sized 3-bedroom home.
Also, we've just established that you don't listen to anything we say, so I can't imagine you're listening to your kids crying either.
Like, I think crying it out is actually an underrated skill.
Yeah, no, I'm with that.
Let it all out.
But we don't do it.
Right,
like, it's not a skill that we exercise. Like, you're not willing to die on the Friendsgiving hill, but you're willing to die on this one?
I'm willing to die on the Christmas sleepover hill, though.
I can't believe you said gender reveals are not as bad as Friendsgiving. Those are way worse than Friendsgiving.
Do you think the gender reveal is worse than Friendsgiving?
Significantly,
But it's less
yes.
time-consuming, though.
I guess so,
like
but
the
it turns into a giant party.
But the gender reveal you can avoid entirely. Like, how many people do you invite to a gender reveal?
I think a lot of your friends, same people, amount of
It's
people
just
you
an
invite
excuse.
for a
This is
baby
new
shower
thing.
or
This did not exist.
wedding
So when you
shower.
learned that you were having a boy,
My kids are 24 and 21. There is not one human being I knew, not one person in our social circle, not one couple, not one family, not one member of our group that had a gender reveal.
So how did you reveal the gender of your first child to your friends and family?
The doctor said, it's a boy or it's a girl. In our case, we chose not to find out. So you can obviously...
But you could find out back then.
So the gender reveal was the
What do you
birth.
mean back then? What am I, Benjamin Franklin? What do you mean back then? My kids are 24.
Well, how
they're not
long?
in their 80s.
How long have you been able to find out the gender? In
We've had
advance?
all sorts of technology. Just because we didn't have gender reveals didn't mean we couldn't find these things out.
When was the first time you had penicillin?
Don't get used to it. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. But anyway, the point I'm making, and now I've forgotten what it was.
That was well played.
Is the gender reveal is a new thing, and it is a terrible.
You hate it, Cam. It doesn't sound like you hate it.
The gender reveal? I hate the gender reveal.
You know the story of how I told my family. Do I want to tell two stories like this? Do you want to hear the story of how my family found out Stevie was a boy? Do you not know this story?
I'm about to, I think.
Bubba, do you know this story?
I don't remember off the top of my head. Once you start talking, maybe I'll remember.
Gather around. I'm going to tell you a story. December 10th, 2002. Nikki is 2 years old. We live in Westport, Connecticut. And Stace calls me at about 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm driving home from work. It's a Tuesday. I'm driving home from Mike and Mike. It's probably 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm in my car driving home from work. And she says to me, the washing machine just started spewing water. Something has backed up where she's terrified that it is the septic system that is now backing up into our basement. Do something. I'm going to get a pedicure. This is the call that I get from her. So I got to hang up on the call that I'm on. I'm calling plumbers. I'm trying to find someone. 20 minutes later, I get a call from her. My water just broke at the pedicurist. Meet me at the hospital. She's with a friend. The friend drives her to the hospital. I'm now driving straight to the hospital. I call my parents. I tell my parents, I need you to go to the house in Connecticut, spend the day with Nikki, because she's, going to come home from like preschool or whatever it is. Go and spend the day with her. I'm going to the hospital. Looks like we're having the baby. Stevie was 2 weeks early. So I'm going to the hospital. In the meantime, on my drive to the hospital, I'm trying to get a plumber over there. Now we're in the hospital, whatever, Stacy's in the bed, we're doing our thing, whatever it is. My only experience with this was Nikki, my first child. We were in the hospital like 9-10 hours before she was born. So I think I'm settling in. I'm not anticipating that this is going to be a quick experience. And I've got the plumber on the phone, and he's telling me this is going to cost a fortune. I forget what it was now, but it was a fortune.
It's always a fortune.
It was going to cost me. And I'm like, I don't know. We're going to need a bigger house. I don't know how long we're going to be there. Should I spend this money? I don't know. And I hear the doctor say, one more push and the baby's coming. And I said, can you hold on 1 second? And I looked at the doctor and I said, what did you just say? And he said, the baby's coming right now. I said to the plumber, I'll call you back. I hang up. Baby comes. It's Stephen. He's born. Stacy's crying. I'm crying. Wonderful moment. Oh, this is so fabulous. Phone rings. It's the plumber. He needs to know if we're doing this or not. So I answer the phone, and I say to him, yeah, are my parents in the room? And he says, yes. And I said, tell them it's a boy. And so the plumber told my parents that they had their first grandson.
That's a great story.
That is the story.
Wow.
How that, instead of a gender reveal, that was our gender reveal. My parents knew a baby was coming. This was not a surprise to anyone. But the gender was revealed by the plumber, who parenthetically charged me a freaking fortune. And it wasn't even the septic, thank God. And we did move out of the house pretty soon thereafter, but that's a whole other topic for a whole other day.
This is Greeny.
Hembo, the question.
Who is the only player to score 10 touchdowns in a season at MetLife Stadium?
So as we were sitting here kicking names around, Pineapple Jack threw out the name of Quincy Enunwa. Now, I don't mean to disparage our old friend Quincy Enunwa. He was a fine player for the Jets for a while. I believe he suffered a neck injury that caused him to retire early. But with all due respect to Quincy and the entire Enunwa family, that was one of the worst guesses I've ever heard in my life. It turns out he caught 5 touchdowns in his career, much less 10 touchdowns total. And Bubba,
at home.
At home. I move that we demote Pineapple Jack to a lesser fruit. I think he doesn't deserve to be. Pineapple is a good fruit.
Good fruit.
What would be maybe like Apricot Jack?
Yeah, because I'm trying to look up what is the least popular fruit.
Like, what's a fruit people don't like?
Yeah, kumquat Jack.
Kumquat Jack.
I kind of like the way that sounds.
I don't think so.
I don't.
No, I think that one
I don't care for that one.
It's too many different directions that one go. We don't feel good about. What?
Guava Jack?
Guava Jack, Kiwi Jack. I don't know. We'll come up with a different fruit, but under no circumstances do you deserve it to be Pineapple Jack anymore. At any rate, I know the answer is not going to be Saquon Barkley because that would not be sneaky enough for Hembo, but I don't have a better guess. Saquon had 2 great seasons with the Giants. I'm going to guess he scored 10 touchdowns at home in one of them, even though the sneaky factor tells me I'm going to be wrong. Cam?
Anytime we do questions like these, we always forget Brandon Marshall. I'm going to say Brandon Marshall for the Jets in probably 2015 or so.
Bubba?
Yeah, I had the same thought because Brandon Marshall's been the answer before of like the only person to do it with 3 teams. Brandon Marshall's been good. He was on the Jets. He played during that time. I'm going Brandon Marshall.
Okay, Jack is doubling down on Quincy Enunwa. Oh, my God. What does Brandon have?
Brandon is going with Chris Ivory, and Jack has texted me Victor Cruz if we choose to accept it.
Oh. I'll let him do that.
Was Victor Cruz MetLife Stadium yet? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, that's probably right.
So that's actually
the touchdown against the Jets was already MetLife. I'm trying to think what years these things happened.
2011, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Victor Cruz
is one of us right?
Yeah.
Oh boy, go ahead.
The correct answer is Brandon Marshall.
Oh boy, nice.
Brandon Marshall
has been the right answer to more things unguessed. That was great work by both Bubba and Cam. Guessing the unguessed name.
It was 11 in 2015. He also got a bump because I believe the Jets and Giants played there that year as well. So we actually played 9 games.
Underappreciated wide receiver.
Brandon Marshall, yeah. He put up big numbers in a lot of different places.
Yeah. 9,000-yard seasons.
Including Denver, yeah, and then a few really good years with the Jets.
This is Greeny.
So there you have it, the combination of Friendsgiving and trivia. If anything sums up what this program is about, it is that no one does more trivia content or more trivial content than we do on a daily basis here on #Greeny. However, every now and again we have really great and meaningful interviews. Right after the death of one of the greatest players in the history of American sports, Willie Mays, we had the great Bob Costas on for reflections as only he could have provided. And indeed he did. You will hear that interview coming up next. It's Greeny on ESPN Radio.
My name is Luke Bryan. Country music is my life, and I want to share it with y'all.
It's All Country is now streaming on Hulu.
And with the help of Luke Combs, Kane Brown, Lady A, Winona Judd, Sheryl Crow, and Mickey Guyton, we're going to explore everything country.
You couldn't ask for anything more than that.
When everybody brings their story, it really becomes something special.
That is the beautiful side of country music.
In the end, it's all country.
It's All Country. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town, with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now, when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats, too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
This is Seattle Sports.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Black Friday sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. And Cyber Monday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Hey folks, this is it. The best weekend of the year for buying a TV. Forget inflation, because now you've got deflation with Black Friday pricing on top-rated brands like Samsung, LG, and Sony. Where's the best place to shop? It's not the clubs or online. Join the smart shoppers heading for video only, because they've got better than Black Friday deals. That's right, better. Don't believe it? Then bring your prices to video only and compare before you buy. Or you'll be sorry. At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Oh, man, the freezing cold, it's here. All you want to do is get inside out of it, right? But you're not the only one. You know who else wants to be inside warm? Rats, mice, rodents. Yeah, Mike Salk here, and as temperatures drop, rats, mice, other rodents, they're looking for a cozy spot. They want to make a home, maybe reproduce. But the result for your house could be a smelly mess and, even worse, destroyed insulation. Your crawl space and attic can be out of sight and out of mind, but real issues can arise without you knowing about it until far too late. Yeah, we had some rodents in the house. Crawl Pros came out, and they took care of the problem, dealt with the insulation, dealt with the rodents. Mice and rats only need a very small hole in the siding or foundation walls to make a huge mess. So call Crawl Pros. They will come out and go where you don't want to. Call them to see what's going on behind those crawl space and attic hatches for free. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
This is the Chef of Love, Chef Jannard, TV host and restaurateur. My grandparents harvested their land to sell food and share this overflowing bounty with our community. Grandma said, for every yam we pick, we give one away. In the world they cultivated, I love preparing and eating dinner with my family on Sundays. When our resources changed, food assistance programs sustained us. They gave me fuel to start my first culinary business at 16 years old, and inspiration to donate the extra food in my community. Through my life, I've developed an appetite to work with others to ensure everyone has access to the nutritious food we need to thrive. Together, we can help end hunger. Come on, join the movement with Feeding America by volunteering, donating, and advocating. Learn more at feedingamerica.org/act now.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
We are Seattle Sports. 7:10 a.m. on your radio. Streaming through the Seattle Sports app. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
This is SportsCenter.
Happy Thanksgiving. I'm Chris Smith. Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito is listed as inactive due to his forearm injury, and Drew Lock is expected to get the start against the Cowboys. And Jordan Raanan says this puts head coach Brian Daboll in a really tough spot.
He's kind of in a no-win situation. Because if he plays well, it's like, why'd you skip him over, right?
Yeah.
And if he plays poorly, it's like, why'd you guys sign him in the first place? Right? Because you gave him $5 million. You gave him $5 million guaranteed, and then you just skipped him over anyway, and you realized he wasn't that good. They really can't win here. But here's the bottom line. Brian Daboll's got to win some games. He knows that. And so if he plays well, we're going to keep seeing Drew Lock. He doesn't care what the perception is.
Heard on ESPN Radio's Greeny. Locke spent the first 10 weeks as the backup to former starter Daniel Jones, with DeVito as the third stringer. Earlier at Ford Field, the Lions took a 16-0 lead over the Bears into the half. But Chicago rallied behind 3 TD passes by Caleb Williams, but the Detroit defense held late in the game to lift the Lions to a 23-20 victory, extending the longest active win streak in the NFL to 10 straight. And Steelers offensive coordinator Arthur Smith said that he had conversations with North Carolina about their head coaching vacancy following the dismissal of Mac Brown. But Smith also emphasized he's happy in Pittsburgh.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, I'll tell you which division race will end up being the closest and who will win it. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Hey, it is Greeny. Okay, and so once again, every now and again, we have interviews on this show that I feel are really memorable and special, and Bob Costas usually provides them. On the day after the passing of the great Willie Mays, we were joined by the great Bob Costas.
This is Greeny.
Base hit to right. Here comes Richardson. They're waving him home. The throw, it's close, but he scores. On a walk-off hit by Derek Jeter. A liner off Nagy's glove into center field. The Florida Marlins have won the World Series. Oh man, Tony Pena on 3-0 sends everybody home. Tony Pena spells goodnight. In right field, Tarasco going back to the track, to the wall. And what happens here? He contends that a fan reaches up and touches it. But Richie Garcia says no, it's a home run. Portland has 3 timeouts left. The Lakers have 2. Bryant to shot. Pop in the shadow left. The New York Yankees, world champions, team of the decade, most successful franchise of the century. A drive to right, back to Georgia. Gone, a grand slam. What a scene at Shea. Left center field. Grissom on the run. The team of the 90s has its world championship. And here's a drive to left. It's mighty high. It's mighty far. And good night. 17 seconds from game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead.
Wow. That's as good as it gets. And so is he. Greeny, presented by Progressive Insurance. Very simply, he's as good as anyone who has ever done it, calling any sport. He's one of the well, what can you say? He's the best there ever was. He's Bob Costas, and he's with us on ESPN Radio. Good morning, Bob Costas.
Now, Greeny,
yeah.
I know that you look toward me since I preceded you, and I appreciate all that. But didn't I tell you about overstatement? just to be among, you know, to be somewhere on the list, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to elevate me all the way to the top.
I mean, come on. You know, I've told this story, and I told it in front of your wife the last time we were together, and even she, I thought, was embarrassed on an airplane in front of a lot of other people. But it's a true story. That what year was it that Sports Illustrated did that big story, that big feature on you? Whatever year that was. You may not remember the year, but I remember the story.
Sometime in the 80s.
I think it was in the early 90s because I had just started covering sports.
It was just before the Barcelona Olympics in '92.
And there was a huge profile on Bob Costas, who was my idol then and still now. And when I first graduated from college, my uncle, who was an accountant and always thought I would become an accountant and take over his business, gave me a briefcase. And there's nothing in the world more ridiculous than a young aspiring sportscaster carrying around a briefcase. But I had one, and I kept that edition of Sports Illustrated open to that page at the top of my briefcase for years, for as long as I carried that thing, just as a reminder of what I wanted to do with my career. And to have fallen this far short, Bob, I'm not going to lie to you, is very disappointing. And so that's why I got rid of the magazine. Okay, enough
Other than mentioning this on the air, have you divulged this to your therapist, if you have one?
Oh, yes. I mean, actually, to all 3 or 4 of them over the course of time. But that's a whole different thing. Okay, let's get down to business. A million things to get to with you here. And we have to begin, however, with Willie Mays, because when things like this happen, you are the first person that many people think of because of your lifelong passion for and ability to bring together the right thoughts at the right times when it comes to baseball and its history. How do you, for a generation, or I guess at this point multiple, who are not old enough to have seen Willie Mays play, how would you describe not only how good he was, but what he meant to the sport and to the culture?
I don't think anyone combined objective baseball greatness with as much flair and style and presence and exuding as much joy, which everyone in the ballpark or watching on television could feel. I don't think anyone that I'm aware of, I didn't see Babe Ruth, I didn't see the Negro League players, obviously, although I've learned as much about it as I possibly can. Of those I saw, and we can talk about others who are distinct in their own ways, but the guy who most met the description I just gave of all the players I've seen, past and present, is Willie Mays.
Mm. Yeah, Hembo, you did a very good job, I thought, of some of the numbers. And numbers never, just a recitation of the statistics that a player put up, particularly in the case of someone like him, should not be considered the totality of what they accomplished, but just a few of them if he could. Bob probably knows them by heart, but for those who didn't hear it yesterday, I was blown away.
Bob, I think the best way, at least I think the best way to sum up his sort of power speed genius is as follows. At the time of his retirement, Willie Mays was one of 91 players that had stolen 300 bases. No one in that group had more than 160 home runs, except Willie Mays, who had 660 home runs. I mean, I'm a 34-year-old fan, lifelong fan of baseball, and there are power speed players littered across the majors, and some of the best players I've ever seen had those skills. But the point that I made yesterday, Bob, was I'm not sure that kind of player even existed before Willie Mays made it possible.
You know, it's possible in the Negro Leagues, perhaps. And certainly Willie could have stolen even more bases if that was his objective. So, too, could a healthy Mickey Mantle. The two of them used to joke, hey, if we knew 40-40 was a thing, we would have gone ahead and done it before Jose Canseco did it. But this is something that's true about Willie Mays in his prime. You can take the great contemporary base stealers, Luis Aparicio in the American League, Maury Wills in the National League, who broke what was then Ty Cobb's record for most steals in a single season. If you needed a bag stolen in a crucial pennant race game, you were as well off with Willie Mays at first base as Maury Wills at first base. If you needed that bag strategically, didn't matter what the season total was, Willie Mays would get you that bag.
Mm-hmm. As well as anyone in the history of the game. And Bob, this brings up a question that I hadn't even considered, but it blew up on Twitter yesterday because it was raised by Bob Ryan, who's another legendary sports chronicler, and he tweeted the following. So Aparicio is now the oldest living baseball Hall of Famer.
Yes,
clearly, at the beginning of this week, the greatest living ball player was Willie Mays, as Joe DiMaggio always used to be introduced. And then I think some people may have passed that honor to Ted Williams, and now Willie is no longer with us. So Bob tweeted, let the argument begin. Who is the greatest living ball player? He subsequently tweeted, clearly this question about greatest living ball player comes down to the question between those who include Barry Bonds and those who refuse to. So my question to you, Bob, is how would you answer that question? Who is now the greatest living ball player?
You know, I think you could make a very good and clean, no pun intended, case for pre-steroid Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds was that combination of speed and legitimate power prior to the late 90s. There's a clear line of demarcation for what followed in his career after that. But I think you could make a case for Bonds. You could certainly make a case for Ken Griffey Jr. You can make a case now for Shohei Ohtani, who's a unicorn. You could make a case for Mike Trout during the best years of his career. And I'm probably forgetting somebody who should be included. You know, A-Rod, look at his numbers. They're amazing. A-Rod is also in a kind of a netherworld in terms of how people think about him. If you're just talking about hitting, look at the numbers, kind of obscured outside St. Louis because of the steroid era. But look at Albert Pujols' numbers, not as an Angel or toward the very end as a Dodger. Look at his prime years with the Cardinals. Those are staggering numbers.
Hembo, he's of all the players who are still alive, the highest WAR overwhelmingly is Bonds. It's not even close. A-Rod is second. Ricky Henderson is third. Mike Schmidt is fourth. And then, as Bob mentions, Albert Pujols is fifth.
I think the answer to this question has to be Bonds and has to be Clemens. And if you're going to stray away from steroid users, Bob, I'm curious, where would you put Sandy Koufax on this list? He seems to be sort of the last vestige, if you will, of that generation. And I think a lot of older fans would immediately point to Koufax as being the greatest living ball player.
Well, you know, the case against Koufax, and who wants to make any case against Sandy Koufax, but it's longevity. There's a 4 or 5 year stretch where he's just absolutely magnificent in every way. 4 consecutive years with a no-hitter, capped by his perfect game in 1965. So if we're talking about the peak, very good case to be made for Sandy. But others who were either direct contemporaries overlapped him. Warren Spahn won more than 360 games. I think he won 13 times. There's Bob Gibson. You can make a tremendous case for him. Even as you mentioned, Clemens, Maddox is a contemporary. Randy Johnson is a contemporary. I'm leaving some other people out. So it's a difficult case to make, I guess, for any one person. But something that comes to mind as I go off on a side street here, and in talking about Willie over the last day and a half, this occurs to me. Somehow, when you talk about the truly great players, at least of the past, the greatness of any one of them does not dim or diminish the standing or the place in the imagination of the other. Ted Williams had better numbers than Stan Musial, as great as Stan Musial's numbers were. But Ted was the splendid splinter, and Stan was Stan the man, and Stan is the guy in St. Louis and a huge part of the Midwest because the Cardinals were the southernmost and westernmost team. Nothing that Williams did, nothing that DiMaggio did, nothing that any of them as contemporaries did diminishes the other. Nothing that we've just said about Willie Mays diminishes the distinctive place that Hank Aaron has in baseball history and in American history for reasons we don't have to explain now. You can compare their statistics. People are obsessed with rankings, and certainly Willie and Hank would always be somewhere in the top half dozen players of all time. But Willie has a different place in the imagination than Hank, and Hank's greatness and what he achieved doesn't diminish Willie. Same thing with Mickey Mantle, who regretted till the end of his life that he didn't fulfill his potential and that by playing too long his lifetime batting average fell under 300. But Mickey Mantle is the embodiment of Bernard Malamud's Roy Hobbs in the book The Natural and Robert Redford in the movie The Natural. Nothing diminishes Mantle's place on that list. Bob Gibson doesn't diminish Sandy Koufax because they're distinctly different. And I think that's one of the wonderful things about this. This isn't like, oh, this is the best guy, and here's the next guy. These aren't matters of degree necessarily when you talk about the all-time greats. They all exist in the imagination, not just in the record books, in distinct fashion.
This is Greeny.
That was Bob Costas, my idol all through my broadcasting career and still to this day, remembering the great Willie Mays in a conversation I most certainly will not forget. Coming up, from the sublime to the ridiculous, you do not want to miss our conversation about one of the worst works of art we've ever seen. That's next on ESPN Radio.
Hey folks, when it comes to Christmas trees, don't get played by foreign plastic. Just like you wouldn't replace a prize QB with a mannequin. Don't replace American farm fresh trees with fake foreign plastic. These farm families are the MVPs of Christmas, growing champions right here on American soil. They're not sitting on the bench. They're out there every day growing real Christmas traditions. Make the winning choice, farm fresh Christmas trees, not foreign plastic that pollutes. Visit GetRealKeepItReal.com to find your local farm MVP.
Max Bankman, I'm the new doctor.
Welcome aboard the Odyssey.
ABC Thursdays.
This ship is heaven. We're tending to our passengers' dreams. I'm in.
From 911 executive producer Ryan Murphy comes a splashy new drama on a luxury cruise ship with Joshua Jackson and Don Johnson.
It's your job to keep everyone alive. She's in VFib. 1, 2, 3. Clear.
I have a pulse.
You're going to be okay.
Dr. Odyssey. Thursdays, 9/8 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
This is Seattle Sports.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
Finding the right employee for your company is tough. One wrong hire can be a major setback. You're not alone if you face this. A recent survey by Robert Half shows nearly half of hiring managers readily admit to making a bad hire. Luckily, there's a solution. With Robert Half's specialized recruiter's experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can have the right skilled professional in place quickly. We understand what it takes to build winning teams because at Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
If you worked in aircraft manufacturing or aircraft painting at Boeing, semiconductor or printed circuit board manufacturing, or other industries where hazardous chemicals or solvents were used, your children may be entitled to legal damages. Birth defects have been linked to toxic chemicals and solvents used in these industries. If your child was born with brain or spinal cord damage, organ or limb deformities, blindness, cerebral palsy, genetic damage, or other issues, and you're a past or present aircraft manufacturing or painting, semiconductor or circuit board worker, contact Weinstein-Cajano now, toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your children may be entitled to legal damages. If you are a past or present worker in aircraft manufacturing or aircraft painting at Boeing, semiconductor or printed circuit board manufacturing, or other industry worker and your child has a birth defect, call toll-free 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your call is confidential. 1-866-998-6942. That's 1-866-99-TOXIC. Message authorized by Weinstein-Cajano, 600 University Street, Suite 1620, Seattle, Washington.
Make this holiday season extra special in the kitchen of your dreams while saving thousands. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear-out. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. Our own craftsmen will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it off with a beautiful quartz countertop, all in about a week. Book now and we'll be able to schedule the installation of your new kitchen before the holidays, and you'll receive an additional 15% up to $3,000 off.
Call today and schedule a free in-home consultation where we'll bring a showroom to you. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com. That's heritagehomecraft.com.
Here at NC Machinery, people always ask, what can you do with Cat compact equipment? Well, here goes. Build gardens, patios, and parking, set posts and poles, plant trees, remove pipes, stumps, and rocks, clear snow, brush, and trees, trench, grade, and maintain. Landscape your backyard, your front yard, your neighbor's yard. Get through doorways, alleyways, and fence gates. Build roads, trails, fire breaks. Move gravel, wood chips, and hay. Clean pens and bars. Break concrete, asphalt, and gravel. Use tools like hammers, tampers, trenchers, mulchers, and mowers. And for the doers doing, the landscapers, contractors, and landowners digging, call NC Machinery to get 0% for 60 months on select compact equipment. Terms and conditions apply.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, weight, and even ED. Schedule your free testosterone level check with the team at Revive Men's Health Seattle. Text the word BOOST, that's BOOST, to 65555, or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Message and data rates apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help and stop to cancel. ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy for how to opt in. Info will be used, and ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of service.
We are Seattle Sports. 7:10 a.m. on your radio. Streaming through the Seattle Sports app. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
We continue with you, Greeny, here on ESPN Radio on this special Thanksgiving Day edition of our program. One of the most fun moments that we've had was taking a look at a work of art and deciding that it was absolutely awful. If art is in the eye of the beholder, I'm not exactly sure whose eye beheld this. This was our conversation about the Dwayne Wade statue.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
Presented by Progressive Insurance. Why are you laughing, Hemba?
I'm reminding myself of some of the all-time worst statues. Because I was looking at some Dwayne Wade stuff from over the weekend, and there are some, believe it or not, that are even worse going through this montage.
It's too visual to do on the radio, but if you haven't seen it yet, you can't do this without knowing in advance. Here's what you do. Find a picture, just a screenshot of the face of the statue of Dwayne Wade that was erected or is shown outside of Miami's arena yesterday. He's the first ever player in Heat history to have a statue in his honor. Well-deserved. Congratulations, Dwayne. Well-deserved. Icon in every single way. Awesome. Just get a screenshot of that face and show it to someone who doesn't already know what it is. And see how long it takes them to guess that it's Dwayne Wade.
They're going to guess it's Han Solo frozen in carbonite before they guess it's Dwayne Wade.
Like, you could go forever before you guess Dwayne Wade. I don't know who it looks like. I know who it doesn't look like.
It looks more like my grandpa than Dwayne Wade.
It couldn't look less like Dwayne Wade. Like, I really do wonder these things. Look, I can't make a statue. I'm not a sculptor. So, obviously, I'm not suggesting I could do better. But whoever it is that is in charge of this, who looks at that and says, yep, we got it just right. That's perfect. That's exactly what we were going for. I'm talking about the person who actually sculpted it, and then I'm talking about the person who paid for it. Like, someone has to green light this project, right? Someone has to say, yes, we as a Miami Heat organization accept this as the final product because it represents this player for all eternity. Yes, I understand. He looks like Yoda, but we're going to pay you in full for delivery of this product. Who looked at that and said, yep, we got this one right?
There is no group of people that have deteriorated worse over time than statue makers.
Yeah.
We have come a long way from the 1500s. Look at the statue of David, right?
Yes.
A breathtaking work of art. To the one of Dwayne Wade and Ronaldo and Brandy Chastain. There are some unbelievably bad ones in every other way we've innovated.
Here's what I will say. The one of David, after whom I was named, my mother saw that statue in Florence and was so overwhelmed by it that I'm actually named Michael after Michelangelo, who is the sculptor. That's how meaningful that statue has been in my life. That statue of David looks more like Dwayne Wade. You would sooner guess that was Dwayne Wade than you would the one that is supposed to be Dwayne Wade.
And that guy's naked.
Fully naked.
He's a white naked guy.
Fully naked. And yet, you're like, could be Dwayne Wade.
If you squint hard enough.
I could see it.
It's so bad.
It couldn't look less like Dwayne Wade. Oh,
you
God.
could have told me it's a Heat shooting guard from the 2010s.
That's
and
right.
You wouldn't be my
You
first
could have
guess.
narrowed it down. NBA player. No, I'm going to need more.
Is that Duncan Robinson up there?
Played for the Heat. I'm going to need more.
Is that Tyler KIRO up there?
Started at Marquette. I'm going to need more.
First name Dwayne.
Is that Gabe Martin?
First name spelled unusually. Okay, anyway, trivia. Go.
I'm looking at a list of the teams with the highest win percentage in the NFL since 2007. That was the year that the Steelers hired Mike Tomlin. They're one of 4 teams to win at least 60% of their games. You got to give me the other 3.
Okay, so I don't want to take a lot of time with this because I have a few things I want to do before the show ends. So we're going to go through them quickly. We spent a lot of time on this during the break. We think one of them is New England.
That's correct. 682.
We think another one of them is Green Bay.
That's correct. 643. They're second after New England.
Yeah, so we knew those two. Then guys, I think we're going to go with Baltimore, right? Like Harbaugh's been there the whole time.
Baltimore.
They make the playoffs every year, right?
I think it's better than anything else we have. We also have Chiefs, Cowboys, 49ers written down. All those teams have had bad years. The Ravens have been pretty consistent.
Yeah, all of them have had more bad years than the Ravens have had. We're going to go Baltimore.
Well done. That is correct. The Ravens own a win percentage of 601.
That's well done by us.
This is Greeny.
So, Hembo, ask the question again.
In the common draft era, there have been 4 quarterbacks drafted in round 2 or later that went on to throw at least 300 touchdowns in the NFL, and you got to give me all 4.
Brandon wants me to guess Rich Gannon. Rich Gannon? Like, with all due respect to Rich, who was an MVP and had a terrific career, like, where would 300 put you on the all-time passing touchdown list?
Up there. Rich is 120 short, by the way.
Yeah. and I'm hearing Kirk Cousins. Like, I'm getting some ridiculous names
Cousins
over
is
here.
not that bad, actually.
It's not
Cousins
that
is probably
good.
Cousins has got to be closer than Gannon.
Okay, so there's 3 of them
I
that
don't think
are
we're going to guess either of them,
mortal locks, okay? 3 of them we know with absolute certainty. One of them is definitely Tom Brady.
649.
Okay. My screen is not working. I have to hit everything twice. One of them is Brett Favre.
508.
And one of them is, who did I forget? Oh, Drew Brees.
571.
Okay. So those are the 3 easy ones. Now, Joe Montana was not a first-round pick. Cam is trying to talk me out of Joe Montana. Cam is trying to talk me into Russell Wilson from Joe Montana.
Yep.
It could be right. You could be right. Here's the only thing I'm thinking. If you want to take the losing scenario, I would so much rather be wrong guessing Joe Montana than guessing Russell Wilson that it hurts me, because there could be someone that we're just not thinking of entirely,
Well,
right?
Would you rather be wrong guessing Joe Montana or right guessing